Hello and welcome to the Metalheads podcast. My name is George.
And Buke.
And Jay.
And this is episode 44 of the Metalheads podcast. Today we're going to bring you an interview with the Denver band Pile of Priests. We just got off the phone with those guys and, it was a good time. Those guys were really cool.
A lot of fun. Nice guys.
Yeah. But before we get into the Pile of Priests interview, there's something I wanted to talk about. I just started reading the Lemmy autobiography, White Line Fever, because, there's no more Lemmy. And I needed some Lemmy, so I remembered that this book existed, and Jay said that he liked it, so I started reading it only like a day or two ago, so I'm not actually that far into it yet, but just reading the prologue was enough to hook me, because the dude was just one funny son of a bitch.
He was smart. He was a funny guy. He actually, I'm pretty sure, I don't remember if there's a ghostwriter on that book, but I think he wrote it by himself, which is rare.
There was somebody else credited. I have a feeling it's probably like a lot of things where they just set up a tape recorder and record what he says and then transcribe it. So it's like he wrote it, but he spoke it. That would be my guess. I mean, maybe he wrote it. I may be doing him a disservice. But either way, it's entertaining. And
I enjoyed it, man. He comes across. Then Lemmy was a guy who looked like a biker but had the hippie ideal. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a lot of good drug stories.
Yeah, I've already gotten a few of those. And whenever I read books, the people when they're talking about their history and growing up and the things that they liked, they always talk about bands and other bands, and I want to go check those bands out because while metal is my first love, I like all kinds of music, particularly rock music. And so it's always interesting to go and explore the things that inspired the people that inspire you. And for a lot of people that I've read books for, that's pretty easy. I've already known things that they liked or what have you. But Lemmy, my God, he was old as shit.
Yeah.
And one of the things that reading the book really made me stop and think was how early on in the book, he mentions that until he was 10 years old, there was no such thing as rock and roll.
Yep.
The first 10 years of his life, there was no rock music. And I'm like, whoa, that just blows my mind, because there's always been rock music, since I've been alive. And so then he starts talking about the stuff that he started listening to when rock music, was around. And he was talking about Bill Haley and the Comets, and Buddy Holly, Elvis Presley, Little Richard, stuff like that. And while I've always been a big fan of, 80s music and 70s music, because that's when I was growing up, and 60s music, because there's just so much fucking awesome music from then, I've never been a fan of 50s music. My dad listens to that sort of thing, and I've just never latched onto that sort of thing. And so yesterday I was like, all right, Lemmy, this is for you. I'm going to go up on Spotify. And I started listening to, Bill Haley to me is Happy Days. The Rock Around the Clock song is the only thing I know. And
I say the first heavy metal artist, seriously, is Buddy Holly.
I was listening to some Buddy Holly, and I'm like, damn, I actually really like Buddy Holly.
It's the heart of the trooper is in Peggy Sue. Peggy Sue, it's like it's got a gallop to it.
Yeah.
He really did that picking thing.
And so I listened to some Bill Haley. Other than, the Happy Days song, I wasn't really into that. But the Buddy Holly, I was like, okay, I can get behind Buddy Holly. I like this. And I also checked out Eddie Cochran. You familiar with Eddie Cochran? I'm sure Buke isn't.
I know the name, but you'll have to tell me what his hits are.
Exactly. See, I've heard the name, and I was like, well, okay, who's Eddie Cochran? And that's what I love about books like this, is it sends me down this side path. And I was like, let's Google Eddie Cochran. And so now I've learned about who Eddie Cochran was. And he's the guy that wrote Summertime Blues and a slew of other songs, but it's probably his most well-known. But he died when he was 21 years old in a car accident. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, damn, to be 21 years old and to like his, name to live on and his music to live on all this time. He did all these songs in such a short period of time. And I really kind of dug the stuff he was doing too. So, it's obviously a far cry from what we normally talk about on the podcast. But I'm enjoying sort of pushing my boundaries a little bit. because this is like the beginning of rock and roll right here. Without this, there is no heavy metal.
It's the whole reason that guys like Lemmy and Ozzy and stuff, they kind of bristle when people call them heavy metal bands, and the reason is because heavy metal didn't exist. They consider themselves rock and roll bands. They were the harder, faster rock and roll bands, but there was no word heavy metal before these guys, and so it's not that they maybe hate the idea so much. They just, you know what I mean? Like, that's weird for people, and I can see that all those guys who were born before it didn't necessarily like being called it, and I think it's because they remember when it was almost singularly an insult.
Yeah, I mean, to be born before the advent of rock and roll, to see the beginning of rock and roll, and then to live long enough to see grindcore.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That's got to be almost like, just weird to have seen this whole evolution and to see where it's gone. But
Lemmy and he grew up in a town in Wales with one light. I'm sure, I don't know if you read that in the book yet.
Yeah.
They had like one, I don't know what you call it, street light. And that was the place everybody hung out because there was a light.
Like moths to the flame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought it was, it's really interesting. And I wonder if Mark will put those on the playlist. Anyway, moving on. Why don't we go ahead and play the interview from Pile of Priests? These guys were some good fun, and we hope to have them on again soon. So here you go, interview with Pile of Priests.
This week's featured band. This week's featured band. This week's featured band. Listen to this band.
Hello, and welcome to the Metalheads podcast. My name is George.
This is Buke.
This is Jay.
And we are here today with the guys in Pile of Priests.
Hello.
You guys want to introduce yourselves and tell us what you do in the band?
My name is Evan Salvador. I play guitar and I do vocals, most of the composition as well.
I'm Evan Knight, and I do the drums.
I'm Patrick. I play bass, and I do some backup vocals as well.
Why is the bass player always going last, guys? Every band we bring on.
It's the pecking order.
It's because we're both named Evan, so there's just this weird connection.
Yeah, it kind of blurs together,
They're also really dumb.
He's also a ginger.
Redheaded stepchild.
Yeah, so if you could answer fewer of the questions, we'd appreciate that.
Enjoy that too.
Just to give our listeners some quick facts, where you guys at?
We are at, let's see, this is Westminster, Colorado, just outside of Denver. This is our jam space. It's also his house. And it's kind of just our Saturday hangout spot where we, listen to music and wax philosophically and do all the weird things that band members do. I don't know,
Well, and I honestly asked that question with a hidden agenda because I just wanted to point out that you're all probably three stoned out of your minds since you're in Colorado.
Straight edge, bro.
Actually, just me.
Yeah, just him.
Just me.
Straight edge, bro. There you go.
Triple X.
Who lives in Colorado?
Exactly. Well, they used to dabble, but they had too much fun, and now it's time to slow it down because they're getting old.
Yeah, I know all about that.
We all have families and lives and careers.
I get paranoia problems.
That's a real thing.
I'm becoming an engineer, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Has to.
Yeah, he can't kill people with engines.
Is that a choo-choo train engineer or
So let me first start out by saying how it came to you guys coming to our attention, what brought you here to the podcast. As our listeners know on every episode, we are a little bit of Bandcamp whores.
Hell yeah.
Big time.
Good place.
The addiction, you can never chase that dragon enough. I can be like fucking Lane Stanley here. The needle's still in my arm. And I'm like, give me more Bandcamp.
Yeah. I actually bought your EP just like half an hour ago. Just was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Awesome, thank you.
They're already on the podcast. You don't got to fucking suck up to them.
I know, but I just thought it was topical since I was like, I got 20 minutes to spare. What should I do? Go on Bandcamp. And I was like, oh, Will bought it. I forgot that was up here, so I thought I'd grab that too. Yeah.
So as a fan of death metal, I saw, first off, was attracted to the name Pile of Priests, which is awesome.
I was going to ask who came up with that and what exactly does it mean, other than that it's awesome.
Yeah.
2009 is when we first started, and we were just thinking of names. I don't know if it was like at first we were just thinking of this sounds brutal. It was like zombie assault and then something else, and it just sounded a little too generic. So like, why not Pile of Priests? Because it doesn't roll off the tongue for one, and then two, we can be the new pop sensation of death metal.
Indeed.
Yeah, that works.
I'd like to think so.
Well, and then there's the fact that we jammed behind a huge church, so it was pretty blasphemous.
All right.
That too, yes, at my parents' place.
We've got a couple of questions from one of our other Metalheads alumni who couldn't be here today, and he sent in some questions for us to ask, and it seems like a good time to ask this. He said, I assume you're not a fan of religion based on the band's name, song titles, and lyrics. Did any of you guys grow up religious?
We're the best Catholic band around.
What are you talking about?
Okay,
No,
well, Pile could be something else. Pile of Priests could easily be, like a football game of priests or something, George.
Yeah.
Let's not jump to conclusions here.
Hey, no, this is Will jumping to conclusions. I wouldn't ask this myself.
Priests' hemorrhoids.
There's all kinds of possibilities.
Yeah, a rugby scrum of priests, It's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, I wasn't really religious in any way. So, yeah, I don't think most of us really were.
Neither was I.
Yeah, and actually, my dad's a philosopher and my mom's a witch.
All right. Because
Yes.
Will's follow-up question there was, if you're atheists, do you plan on voting for Bernie Sanders because he's an atheist? I did not know this.
Oh, my goodness. I'm just going to go ahead and say I will not discuss any political agendas with any of us on this podcast, so he's not getting that answer.
That's fine. I fully agree with that.
Okay, well, we can scratch that gay marriage question off. God damn it. I was like, what does Pile of Priests think about gay marriage? No, I'm not going to fucking know. So, God damn it.
Yeah, you guys think this is a metal podcast, but we're here to ask the hard
Yeah.
questions.
We're getting grilled now. Flip me over.
So again, which attracted me to you guys is, as a fan of death metal, there's a lot of shit on Bandcamp that I've mentioned before in the pod that sucks. I'll just call it for what it is. And you guys came to my attention because it was an old school, death sound that really shined through. But what I like in my death metal is there's a technical element there. And
Absolutely.
like Evan, your solo work, I think it's the second track, is it?
Yes, this Evan,
Yes, that Evan.
as well as myself.
Yes, amazing, and that's what drew me to you guys. So anybody who's a fan of death metal, and more so a fan of the technical aspect, not like technical revocation style,
Sure.
check these guys out. And that's
It's
this.
like I would call it old school technical butte. You know what I mean? Like because it's hard stuff to play. There's no question about that. But it's not necessarily math metal.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, and I think too, Death and Chuck Schuldiner, and he's one of my biggest influences.
There you go.
There's a lot of technicalities in Death that isn't, it doesn't make it a techie or a brutal aspect. It just is fucking raw, and that's what I really appreciate that style. And 1995 is the year, like that is our sound.
And Evan, you also shine through to me too. Is that your vocals? A lot of death metal vocals right now. You hear the term. George will say he coined it.
I
but
did.
You hear a lot of the Cookie Monster death metal vocals. That You don't have that. You got that old school like Morbid Angel type of sound.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
a perfect way to put it.
So the thing with that, so he's a guitarist and vocalist at the same time, so he can't do none of this cupping the mic,
Yeah.
So it's like it forces him to use the proper technique.
Yep.
Definitely.
Now, have you guys, since you formed the band, were you all three in it from the start?
So it's me and Patrick formed it in 2009 with our old drummer, Sean Bartholomew. And he left the band in 2011, and then Evan joined early 2012. So he's kind of a new, even though he's been in the band longer now than Sean was originally. He kind of came to us, and he's in a couple other bands as well. So between them not being very busy and us really needing a drummer, and he stepped up. He's a guitar player. He's also like everything that you can imagine on the musical realm.
Yeah, Evan, this is Skype, and of course people won't see this. Who's the cello player I see behind you?
Me,
Awesome, Evan. Okay, awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, he can pick up any instrument and just make it his bitch.
Nice.
Yes.
You know, we haven't heard Patrick's voice enough yet. And I'm only mentioning that because while we're throwing out praise, I really think the drums are pretty great on this too, dude. Throwing these really tasty little ride things here and there on your ride cymbal and stuff, and just fucking clicked in, dude. Fucking sounds really good. That's it. Wasn't a question.
Yeah. So guys, when you started playing together, was this the style that you guys kind of knew from the outset you wanted to play?
We were playing a lot of more thrash metal at the beginning, like death thrash, and then progressively we started becoming more and more death metal. Started moving more towards things like Edge of Sanity, like progressive death metal kind of influence towards it.
Edge of Sanity. I saw one of you guys wearing that T-shirt in one of your photos.
Yeah,
and I was like,
Just
"That's
beautiful
awesome."
bastard.
I like that Nothing Face shirt too. You know, the Voivod. I mean, not the band Nothing Face.
Oh yeah, not the band Nothing Face. So for again, just to remind people, this is the guys from Pile of Priests and their new album Void to Enlightenment. Gentlemen, you guys here, how has the last year been? How's 2016 looking for you guys? Any tour plans? I know you guys have a show later today.
Yes.
Woo! Yeah, no, we have a very, very busy schedule for 2016. Since this is the first CD we've released in I think almost 5 years now. Yeah, about 5 years now. So we have a couple shows planned for right now. We're actually going to be in a German magazine as of next week, and we are going on a tour in April. We're going to be announcing that about probably next week as well, or now.
Or
Well, this won't post till next week, so that's perfect.
Yep.
What's the magazine? What's the name of the magazine?
It's Legacy Magazine.
I thought it was like some sort of German bondage thing, you know.
That would be
No, it's like like the nickel trader or something like that too. It's a German thing.
we're working our way towards that.
I saw you guys recently posted a review on your Facebook page from somebody. You know, somebody had written the review, and I read that, and I was a little confused because the reviewer was, for the most part, pretty positive. But he felt that the album was hampered by poor production, which was when I started scratching my head because I was like, this is really good production, particularly for a death metal album. You know, it's got that cool, old school, like 90s sound where you can actually hear what's going on.
Yeah.
And,
Well, that's the thing, we chose to, have more of a rougher production just because of that, so we can capture that era. But also because of our budget.
But I didn't think it was rough. I mean, it's clean. You can hear it. It's it's not like super Slipknot overproduced, but
Right.
But
yeah, we didn't want it to be overproduced, and that was kind of the main thing with it. That it was something a little more raw, but clean enough to get the point across. And I think it turned out great. I just think a lot of people are looking for this ridiculous, wicked overproduced sound, and you hear it all too often, and it just gets boring. Where everything kind of starts to blend together, sound the same.
Yeah, I'm as Buke will attest, I'm more of a like doom and black metal guy these days because so much of the like contemporary death metal is just this wall of sound that
exactly
it's kind of boring. And I go back and listen to the older stuff from the 90s, and I'm like, this is good.
Yeah, like modern death metal, it's just a wall of noise that hits you, and you just can't decipher
A lot of white noise in it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Not to say that there aren't any people doing good stuff with this,
Of course.
but they're few and far between. They're diamonds in the rough as opposed to the majority.
Yeah, and then all the modern tempos. A lot of people are trying to shoot for 240 BPM up to 300. So that's where the snare becomes overpowering and all the cymbals mesh together.
BPM, is that a bitterness units thing? Help me out here, dude.
Yes.
So this kind of leads into a good question here, and also Patrick, I'm sorry I was hitting you with drum questions because George slapped me in the face with a text and said, "Hey, dude." So Patrick is the bass player. Your drummer's not present, or
He's right there.
he's right there.
well, I thought he had the kick-ass guitar solo. What the
He
fuck?
does that as well.
Yeah, he does
Okay.
That's what's incredible.
He's the multi-purpose tool.
Now I get it.
Yes.
Woo. Boy, this is getting complicated. Since we're talking about production styles and things like that, like what are some of the bands that you guys love? And I'm sort of assuming that that's some of the kind of production styles you shoot for, but more specifically, what are the bands you guys like now, new and old?
I think we all collectively, like the same bands. We all have different influences, that persuade us more so than one other band. Like I said, Death, Edge of Sanity, and I also like, some of the, black metal stuff from the 90s too, like Dissection, and their comeback album is ridiculous. That definitely, like the composers themselves weigh in a huge amount to us. For Patrick, he's always looking for like the awesome bass players, that kind of shine through, especially with Death, Steve DiGiorgio, Sadis. He's also in Sadis as well. Obscura, Cynic, and all those kick-ass bands too. Evan, kind of all over the place. Definitely, Meshuggah influenced Voivod.
I
So
like
we kind of all.
Meshuggah.
Oh no!
To me, they are the most overrated band in metal. But I know
They're
some
do-
people say
They're
that
doing
they're
something that I think was definitely innovative for their time,
course,
and they
yes.
started something, and now there's all these copycat bands too. So you see a lot of that nowadays as well. We like to just kind of mishmash our influences, definitely.
Right.
So
Sorry, go ahead, George.
I was going to ask. So those are some of the things you like now. Were those things that like initially got you into music, or did you start perhaps somewhere a little lighter? What did you got you into music in the first place? Was it Britney Spears, and then you were like, oh, I'm going to move on to something heavier? Because like my second album was Michael Jackson's Thriller. So I had a long way to go.
Well, yeah, definitely when you're younger, it's a lot easier to be sucked into the pop bands. But from an early age, like I was listening to, Ride the Lightning by Metallica, even OFR by Nitro. So like some weird speed metal hair band.
I remember
Yeah,
that.
Sorry about
SOD,
that.
Anthrax, and Overkill, kind of New York area scene. So mostly thrash for me.
Oh, there's a picture of that guy from Nitro, dude. That is just like this wide frame photo that has to be wide frame because his hair takes up like 6 feet. Yeah,
Glorious perms.
you got to look it up. You'll be happy. He was married to Lita Ford for a while.
Oh really? Oh okay.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, and I'm sorry I know that.
Yeah,
It's good trivia.
yeah. That's just because Jay's a little jealous that he wasn't married.
Well,
Who isn't?
I don't know why I know
What a
anything about
dish.
those guys, but he's like this
deadly,
big,
Jay.
what do you call it, real estate. He's big in real estate now.
All right, what about you, Evan?
I guess my end of the spectrum, I listen to a lot of, like the Black Album, Ride the Lightning, were some of the first cassettes I ever owned. But before that even happened, my dad introduced me to this game called Quake. And
Yes.
there's this badass instrumental soundtrack in the back of that. And that just put me in the right direction. Once I heard that, and I was like in second grade, I even had to tell my friends, I was like, have you heard of heavy metal?
But I thought,
Awesome.
wasn't
Yeah,
it?
so that was what threw me in the right direction.
And who was it that did the soundtrack for Quake? Because I'm trying to think that it was Nine Inch Nails, believe it or not, did that.
I think it was Trent Reznor.
Yeah, Trent Reznor did it, yeah.
Wow.
9 Inch Nails guys.
I
Patrick?
never knew that. I've put thousands
Yeah,
of
no, for
hours
me,
into that
I mean-
game.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, so badass.
I mean, for me, growing up, like my parents listened to like a lot of Queen. I heard Oingo Boingo, a lot of like '80s like new wave type stuff as a kid, and I got into like some weird pop punk crap like Blink-182, and then I started getting into like heavy metal around my cousins, and then I found Behemoth, and from there it just went straight uphill for me.
How'd you guys? I like to ask this question because a lot of bands are meeting each other on Craigslist and stuff like that. Did you guys all grow up with one another, or did you guys know each other through a mutual friend? What brought you three metalheads together?
Turkish bathhouse.
Grindr.
All right, so the place
Jay's
I
saying
started
like
working at in
Grindr or back
2009, it's not nearly as homosexual as you want it to be. Until later on, we'll get into that.
All right,
Whatever.
you guys are fun. I'm glad you-
Anyways, so in 2009, we started. Me and Patrick started working with each other. His sister was actually my boss, and then he got a job there. We just started talking about music and stuff. And he's like, "Oh, what do you listen to?" I was like, I never want to bring up metal first thing because everybody, usually is like, "Oh, that's weird" or something like that. But he's like, "Yeah, I listen to like Slayer and Testament and shit." I was like, "No way!" And I had my fucking Slayer shirt on, so I lifted my shirt, and he's like, "Oh, right on." And then we just started talking about it, and he was jamming with this guy Sean, and then they were like, "Hey, we should try and figure something out." So we started playing with each other, not in a homosexual way.
Funny thing,
I was going to jump on that.
Yeah, funny thing is that you just said there for a second, you were a little apprehensive about mentioning what you listen to, because people always ask me, "Pete, what do you listen to?" And I say metal. And then, they always say, what do you like Metallica or Slipknot? My favorite band being Opeth. So I say that, and they look at me like, how when a dog hears like a high-pitched sound, their head goes like a 45, like, that's how people look at me when I say real metal bands. And the conversation usually quickly dies then.
Exactly. Or somehow, like Screamo or Five Finger Death Punch. Like,
Yeah. Oh,
I wish I
you like
never said
Avenged
anything.
Sevenfold?
Yeah.
What about
You might as well say. I think they look at you like you just said you're a fan of professional wrestling. You know what I mean? Like that's
Something
that's
like
the
that.
real feel I always get. Yeah.
Oh,
so I
so
just assume
Satan,
not
huh?
talk about it. Yeah.
So then-
it's like
so-
every person suddenly is your grandmother. Oh, honey,
Exactly.
What kind of thing is that?
Isn't that stuff evil?
So when did Evan come into the fold then?
Let's see. So we knew him from his other band, Sons of Sorath, and when we started playing live, we played with them a couple times. Super awesome, like occult, black metal, progressive goodness. So he plays guitar for Sons of Sorath. And when it came time, when Sean left the band in October of 2011, right after our EP was released, so like the worst time possible, we started talking with people and trying to figure out something to do. We're trying to figure out, how to keep the leg going and try and get a drummer in as quick as possible. And Evan was like, "Yeah, I play drums, and I think that'd be an awesome fit." So we were even with his kit that he got from his, he's just a friend, right? Oh, yeah. That's right. I was gonna say your aunt, but no, that's my other drummer. It's all some weird like circle jerk. But anyways, yes. So we started playing in his condo, and he even had those little brushes, like because we couldn't be very loud. So just trying to teach him all the material, getting ready for live shows, and just how committed he was. We knew it was going to work out, and it's been working great ever since.
Has it come up where, because you see, I like, again, the old death metal sound, a lot of those bands being three-piece bands. Has talk again ever come up? Maybe bring in a fourth, or you guys kind of like what you guys have going now?
Yeah, that comes up quite often. We tried for another guitar player, just trying to get someone on the same level, and if they're interested enough, and whether or not they're going to learn the material and retain it is huge. So
Jay is. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Sorry,
No, go ahead.
Jay is the lead singer and guitar player in the band. When you guys audition new members, how many people come in saying, "Oh yeah, I got chops, I can play"? Do you quickly know right away? You're like, "Oh, this is bad."
Definitely. Before we even let them come in to try out, we just kind of know. Just from like some of
one
our
way
friends.
is if they spend a lot of time talking. You know what I mean? They're like, yeah, well, this will be really fun and interesting.
Oh, so you want the guy who comes in with like the little travel amp wrapped around his shoulder, just ready to fucking plug in and melt your face.
19 fret Squire guitar.
Yeah. Ugh. Pig nose.
Back in the early mid 90s, me and some friends were trying to audition singers, and we were playing stuff like Metallica. And being the early mid 90s, this guy came in that I don't even know how he found him, but he came in and he had this like big frizzy blonde hair, like fro thing. And he was all like, "You guys like Stone Temple Pilots?" And he's like trying to sing like, a sex type thing or something. And we were just like, "Next."
Oh no.
Yep. Yeah.
Too grungy.
Yeah.
This isn't going to work. Well, that's cool how you guys all came together. Are there things that you guys are held back from doing in a live setting, being a three-piece? Because Evan, again, that solo I mentioned earlier, you can't work that in playing live, or do you guys not play that?
Well, yeah, his solo parts I do not play live. I could take the time and try and decode those, but like the
So
first
you know what
solo,
that means, Evan? The band's success is in your hands. Whenever you guys realize you're like, "Hey, I hold the key piece."
I know it. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we get the point across without the the rhythm riffs that I don't play live, or some of the solos that aren't in there either. And really, it's only just the two. Well, actually, he plays 3 solos, so there's 2 in the second track, and then there's 1 in the instrumental track as well. But that first solo he lays down on track 2 was one take. I'm not even kidding you.
That's
so
insane.
whether or not he remembers it, like listening to it enough, sure. But we can still, I think the dynamic when we're a 3-piece on stage it's definitely full enough. Like Patrick is a beast of a bass player as well, so that fills in a lot of the rhythm stuff. I don't have to worry about sounding flat when it's just solos. So we kind of compromise altogether. The stuff I'm writing now definitely has more backing riffs and stuff that I'm trying to incorporate live, and it's a little bit different. So if the right rhythm guitar player comes around, or dual solo guy, that would be incredible as well. But Evan wants to stick on drums, and we respect him for it.
Evan, what do you prefer?
This Evan?
Yes.
Me? Yeah. Well, I mean, it's all in the context, because of the style that Pilot Priest is with this. It's a lot more comfortable for me to play the style and expand upon it in my own way. Because then a lot of the stuff I play guitar for, I extract a lot of the weird atonal kind of classical era, and then a lot of the Yngwie Malmsteen style shredding mixed with ambient black metal stuff. So it's kind of its own dimension compared to like the mid 90s death that we're going for with Pile of Priests. So it's kind of a split in my brain of what styles I'm doing. So I kind of can't pick one over the other.
Yeah, Patrick. When it comes to you playing, I've always appreciated the bass tones that comes through. Who influences you in the like your favorite bass players? Because I can't, to be honest with you, there's no death metal bass players that I can really think of. Do you have a favorite?
DiGiorgio.
Oh yeah. Steve DiGiorgio for one. I mean, he was early on playing death metal. He was a huge influence on like my outlook on not only how I wanted to play and approach a bass line, but also the kind of tones that he would play as well. Beyond that, I mean, Jerome Paul Thesseling from Obscura.
Oh, man. Isn't that new album a masterpiece?
Oh, dude, that new
love
album is so fucking sweet.
I love it.
Beyond that, I mean, Alex Webster, really strong for rhythm, and Steve Harris from Iron Maiden.
Yep.
But beyond that, like I really delve deeper into other genres for bass playing as well, like Jaco Pastorius for jazz, and I look at like I like to play a lot of funk, and live I do a lot of slap pop.
So is Les Claypool like your god?
Oh yeah, dude. Les Claypool is awesome, and like I've always wanted to incorporate more of like a funky slap pop type rhythm into death metal, and I don't know, I find it just enjoyable.
I can't remember which song it was now. I think it was one of the early ones in the first couple songs on the album. It sort of starts off and then it kind of like stops and there's like boom 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 boom, and I was like, oh, it's like Cryptopsy.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. That's a great way to put it, George.
Well, that was what it first brought to mind, because I think it's the Whisper Supremacy album that one of the songs kind of start. I mean, not like it's the same or anything, but it just kind of reminded me of it. I was like, oh,
and
cool.
You know what, guys? It just came to mind. I think this is what a three-piece band allows. It allows each of your individual personalities to shine through more.
Oh yeah, I know, because I mean Evan Knight. He'll play multiple different drumming styles, and then Evan Salvador. I not only is his great singing coming through, but his multiple different views on playing guitar go through, and and his song structure is just great. And like for me, like being able to play a 6-string fretless and being able to expand on that, and like playing the strong rhythm or like changing it up or something like that is always fun for me. Because live, I will actually play different bass lines live.
Wow. So it almost kind of sounds like
completely different songs.
No, not like completely different songs. I'll take things like when I was recording and trying to come up with like filler bass lines, and I always wrote like multiple things like, oh, it'd be really tight if I played this here, but instead I chose to do this on the recording, and so I'll change that up live.
Right on.
Okay.
Cool.
Now I have to ask, because you know how you see on some, like when bands release live albums, you'll get like a couple guitar solo tracks. Well, Metallica, they're throwing like a Rob bass solo. What do you think of a bass solo? Does a bass solo do anything for it? Because to me, I'm like, basses are cool, but I don't think they fit a solo.
Cliff Burton is frowning upon you.
I know.
On Incantations of Old, there is a bass solo on there that I do. I think a bass solo within an actual recorded song is great, but playing it live, like when it's just the bass itself, kind of like jamming in between a track or something like that, it's kind of hit and miss. It kind of depends on the mood, kind of depends on what you want to do. But live, we'll fuck around with it.
Well, in a live situation, I think everybody, I can speak for Buke at least, and probably George, a bass solo is known as time to go get a beer.
Also the drum solos. Oh my God.
Well, and so the bass solo he's talking about in Incantations. So if you notice the way the dynamics shift, it replicates like a jazz trio. So the drum beat gets quieter, and then the guitar riff comes into the background. So there's another play on our jazz influence.
Yeah.
Now, when you guys play live, you incorporate songs from your EP Unholy Death on set. I ask because if you guys ever play live and if you don't play Burn, I'm fucking charging the stage right now.
You know what? Our friend Mitch would love you for saying that because he's always asking us to play Burn, and we're like, dude, we just want to play
never
new
play
material.
Burn.
Yeah.
You never play it?
We never play Burn anymore.
You guys know what happened? The one time you guys play that show, your friend is not going to be there.
I know. Not too long ago, he even him and his buddy even had like these white shirts they wrote on it with Sharpie, like "Play Burn," and we still didn't play Burn. No, it's a great track.
Bird.
Yeah, you guys say you don't play much of the EP. Is that because you guys almost kind of not ashamed of it is the right word? Is it almost kind of like you're looking forward in a sense?
Right. We're definitely not sick of the material by any means, but not playing out of state and in different. Usually we're just playing in Denver or like within 10 miles, any surrounding area of. So usually those fans have heard all that old stuff just so much. So we always want to try and play the newer stuff. That if they haven't been to our show in a while, we want to show them what we're about now. Less thrashy, a little more death metal. And
I mean, Evan, I mean no disrespect with this, but the growth, I think, from the EP to where you guys are at now is tenfold.
Absolutely, and I would agree with you.
Yeah, where you guys don't sound like an upstart band on the EP, but you could hear the growth and the skill improving to where the solid sound shines through. So I would see why you guys wouldn't want to play those.
Exactly. Well, and it took definitely 4 years to write 8 tracks, and I'm very picky. I throw away riffs left and right. But usually we still play at least one of the old songs during a show. So I'll probably say it's usually Ancient Curse or the last song, Unholy Death. But we usually throw in one of those for shows.
You guys ever play Burn? I'm telling you, fucking film that and put it up on YouTube. And you say Buke. Here it is, Buke.
You got it.
I mentioned before we turned on the recording, what you guys play and take the stage to a pretty cool sample. What is that you guys are taking? It sounds wicked.
Are you talking about before Unholy Death?
Yes.
That is, it's right during The Exorcist where he's given the Lord's Prayer and she's like just writhing in the bed, like, she's spitting on him and such. And then the last, she spits on him. And then right before he finishes, she's like, your mother sucks cocks in hell.
It just sounds so wicked. It's like, yes.
Speaking of The Exorcist, I was in the grocery store the other day and I heard Tubular Bells, which is the theme from I'm like in the grocery store and I'm like, do they know what this is? Like picking out bananas, Dee, 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 dee.
That is kind of weird. Like they were playing the X-Files or something like that.
Those bananas are rotting.
Guys, speaking about playing live, how is the Denver, Colorado scene for death metal band?
Well, you shouldn't ask me about that one.
They like doom metal. No, I mean, right now in Denver, like doom and black metal is much bigger than when it comes to death metal. From what we've seen is that, I mean, when it comes to death metal, there's a lot more like brutal death metal in that aspect. I wouldn't say there's a whole lot of like melodic or like progressive type death metal. Yeah, like there's like Veil of Nath, and then there's also now Blood Incantation. They're really tight as well. But honestly, beyond that, I mean, like shows can be really fun here. It just depends on like what like day of the week. But there's always shows going on, so sometimes it can be hard to get like a good crowd because everyone's split between so many shows.
Are you guys able to get a bill of other like bands?
It's tough. Yeah, it can be tough.
Yeah, because again, going back to Jay playing in his band, Jay's mentioned some of the bands that he's played with, and it's like, man, it's just like a mini Vakken over here with this. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like honestly, with Denver, there's a lot of really talented, creative musicians out here. So I mean, it's not that it's hard to find other talented bands, but it's hard to find like-minded bands.
A match, yeah.
I've got another question from Will that sort of relates to this. He was asking about the Denver scene as well, and he was also curious whether there were other metal scenes in Colorado, and or is Denver really the only place for metal in Colorado?
Yeah, Colorado Springs has a great following, and Fort Collins especially as well. There's some great venues up there. Yeah, and like a Legion who's signed to Metal Blade Records, they're from Fort Collins originally. They live, most of them live here in Denver now. But Glenwood Springs up in the mountains as you're going up through I-70, that is actually surprisingly a pretty fun place to play.
Now, I don't know if you guys have ever even thought about this before, but as you can see here, I'm a big Caps fan, hockey fan. And you always hear about, teams when they go up to that high elevation, it's hard for them because they're not used to playing at that altitude and stuff. Have you guys thought that maybe you're able to play longer or not get as winded because you're so used to playing at altitude where if you guys were to come here, maybe you could play? It's a stupid question.
No, it's not. I think it's a great question, especially for the singer.
I got some science on that.
Oh shit!
So it's so we're practicing up here, and it's still like we still max out at a certain level of capacity for playing. But once we come down to like the sea level states, we'll definitely have more oxygen in our blood and our brain. So we'll definitely probably be able to have longer endurance and stuff like that. So, but I think the altitude affects our minds as far as everybody being into the slow, droney doom stuff.
You know what? Now, Evan, you just gave me a perfect example to tell my wife why I disappoint her in bed sometimes. It's the altitude.
Ooh.
It's the altitude, babe.
Babe, it's the altitude.
It's the altitude.
Let's go to Florida.
No, you can also drink more, so there's that. We play Nebraska surprisingly a lot. There's a great scene in Nebraska all throughout, Scottsbluff. You go down North Platte, in Podunk, Columbus. I shouldn't use that word. We love those guys out there. Omaha as well. No, it's great in Nebraska. And we've played Kansas a lot. So we kind of played around the surrounding states. We always go back to Nebraska. We have, good friends out there too. And, especially some of those places, especially in the Bible Belt, you'll get a lot of those fans that are really hardcore into their, metal, and they don't get a lot of good shows. And we played this one tiny little town called Hastings, and it was this tiny bar. The place was packed. We played like 3 songs and got paid like $100. It was like, okay, cool. Like it was, what a crowd. I'm serious. Like sometimes in Denver, it's just like, I don't know. Everybody's kind of got. I feel like people in Denver don't want to have as good of a time as they could be. Like, well, I got to also look cool while I'm watching this band.
Last episode, we interviewed Theories, a grind band from Seattle.
Yeah, I saw them play not too long ago. They kick ass.
Yeah, they kick ass. And we didn't get a chance to talk to them after the show, but the show was held here in Frederick, Maryland at a little shithole fucking venue. And the guy who runs the sound, we mentioned it last episode, is that old guy where in his head, him and his Marlboro Reds right on the sound. He has this long gray hair. He thinks he's the shit, but it sounded horrible. Do you guys, no disrespect, but playing in the small venues, have you gone into those venues and right away, oh, the sound sucks? And is that deflating when that happens, guys?
Definitely. There's one place in particular, which I will not name, but everybody knows how bad it is, and no one goes there, but they try so hard.
Yeah.
But either way, the sound is always shit.
Like,
no one ever goes.
Like Black Fast came through that same venue last weekend, and I wanted to go see them because they're one of my favorite bands right now. But I couldn't pull myself together to go see them again because it's not enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys like beer?
If I could drink beer, I would love beer.
Beer.
There's a brewery out here called Black Sky Brewery.
I was just going to ask you about that.
I actually I used to be a cook there, and we had our CD release show there, and they made a pile of Priest beer for us.
Awesome.
And dude, those guys are awesome. Like they make beers for local bands. They really support the local scene in a lot of ways.
Will, the guy that I'm asking these questions for, he's a brewer at currently at Fairwinds Brewing in Virginia. And so he's our resident beer god, and he brews beers for local bands. And so he wanted me to ask you about Black Sky Brewing and also True Brewing.
Yeah, True Brewery is another great local metal brewery. They don't serve like food or anything in the place, but yeah, no, they support a lot of local metal scene as well. They try to help put on some shows too.
Yeah,
was your beer called Pile of Pilsner or something like that?
It was the Scotch Father Ale.
All right,
that's all good.
Here's another thing about the beers, like we have True and Black Sky, which are metal scene friendly. But the thing is you go up to areas areas like Longmont, north of Denver, and you have like Left Hand Brewery, you have Oscar Blues, and then so there's all these like hipster style breweries that actually really probably make the best beer in the country.
Yeah.
And you get to have pot too. What the fuck?
Yeah. So now we have all these growers, and then we have 300 plus microbrews throughout the entire state. So I think that's a record for the world. But yeah, there's some good stuff out here.
That's awesome.
If I lived there, I'd be fucking huge. Jeez.
Dude, hey,
Yeah.
if you guys ever come out to Colorado, hit us up, man. Like, we'll meet you at Black Sky, get a great pizza. have
I
some
tell you,
beer.
that's the one thing I love about the podcast. We've made so many great friends. I would love to see you guys live and meet you guys and hang out with you guys. With this tour, you guys teased. George will edit this out, but
No.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to.
if you guys can maybe hint at it, will you be traveling far?
Is it going to be like a West Coast, middle of the country?
It's going to be all West Coast.
Oh.
We would love to head out east. It's just east is so far from Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
We're
come on
hoping-
out. I'm on the West Coast. We'll be glad to have you.
Yeah, but sometime later on, like maybe later this year or maybe next year, we would love to head out east.
Let's
We
get you
love
guys
being
at Maryland
part of
Death Fest. Get
it.
them
Dude,
at Death Fest.
yes, we would love to be on that.
Yeah, you guys ever thought about making it out here for a Death Fest? Have you ever looked at lineups before and said, I need to be at that? And
Oh, absolutely. Without, hesitation for sure. Whether or not I want to just go to the show or if we can play the show somehow. And since we're getting a little bit more, I guess professional with the way that we approach the band and getting shows and such, we have, more of a legit press kit now. So we think that, if the time is right, we could try and get on a bill like that. What happened this round was we only had about 2 weeks that we could use, so we figured it would just be too long to go around towards the East Coast. And we already had most of the connections in the West Coast too, so it kind of just fell into place. But we do plan on doing that at some point.
Now-
Absolutely, get down to Florida too.
Now, Evan, you just mentioned it. You guys, have like more of a real press kit. Going into it, and as the band is starting to, I'm going to say it now, is going to gain some traction. Were you guys, I guess, prepared for the business aspect of it? Because I don't know what goes into like managing merch, managing a Bandcamp page, and all that stuff.
Yeah, no. So I'll handle a lot of the like marketing type promotion stuff. So we managed to get a hold of a PR company based in Portugal called Against PR, and they loved us. And I think that's actually how you guys found out about it.
It is. Yep.
Katya from them, like they've been awesome. They've been helping us get a lot more reviews and get more exposure. And she's going to help us promote like the tour as well online. But beyond that, like for marketing and all the merchandise and everything, we've tried to find the best contacts, make friends with everyone, and beyond that, just keep pushing. Because every band, no matter what genre you are, you should have a great press kit, a great PR company to work with, and a product to sell. And if you
It's
do
like
that,
it's like a motivational speech all of a sudden. I'm loving this. Make friends with everybody. Be friendly.
Love everybody.
Had any label interest?
We've looked at labels. We would love to try and get signed so we can tour more. But so far we are just independent.
Yeah, we're definitely interested. The thing is, we don't want to get on something that's too small and isn't going to really help us out. And then again, a lot of those bigger labels too, they'll screw you over. And we don't want to get into that. I mean, we just want to be able to play with, bigger bands. And I think, kind of like an intermediate sort of deal, as long as, we read the fine print and everything. I think that we'd find the right place.
Yeah.
Guys, with I'll ask the other Evan this, bring him back into the fold here.
Yeah.
With you guys, releasing the album on Bandcamp, independent right now, is there thought, or are you guys in the position right now that if that label did come knocking, because I have a career, I've been doing it for 11 years. How do you guys, take the step to say, do we chase this, or what do we do with the jobs that we have?
Yeah, see, that is definitely a big deal because, especially with me, I do have a job that could, especially now, bloom into a career. I could just go into the IT right now and just quit everything.
Yeah.
But, something like this, it would probably have a lot to do with what the label has to offer. We'd really have to go over the contract we'd probably need a lawyer at that point.
Oh,
yeah.
definitely. Yeah, definitely. And the hard thing with that is, guys, is that it's just not one person. Three of you guys would have to go in on where you guys are in your lives and stuff like that. I can't even imagine, because I look at all these bands that have seen some success on Bandcamp with selling a lot of copies and something, and I wonder if they went into it expecting, well, hey, look, we released it on our own. Look at this success we've seen. But now, what the hell do we do with it now?
Yeah, you need somebody that can capitalize on it, but then
But then again, you just can't. I hate to say, we all know what the music industry is now.
Yeah.
You all just can't say, hey, work, fuck off. Fuck you. You're cool. I'm out.
yeah, it's
just-
not the 70s or the 80s anymore.
No.
Yeah, exactly, and that's rough. And a lot of guests who we've had on the podcast, tours and stuff, come from them having a couple weeks worth of leave saved up from work.
Right.
Like when we interviewed Matt Barlow, of Iced Earth fame, and Matt Barlow, he's a cop now. He's able to take his band Ashes of Aries and do little mini 4 or 5, 10 date tours when he has leave.
I mean, I'm on PTO for our tour, and that's all the PTO I get for this year. So
Wow.
That says a lot about that.
See, yeah, and that says a lot, because if you guys have wives, girlfriends, and stuff, you won't be spending those days off with the family.
Yep, and I'll be sick at work, miserable because I can't stay home now.
When you guys will be touring, will you be driving around in a van, seeing the world or seeing the country?
Yes, and more awesomeness from Denver. From Black Sky, we've met so many awesome people. People who can brew beer. People who I've met this awesome chick who does screen printing. She made patches for us. She can make embroidered hats and everything. And this guy, Sam Panthers, he owns his own car
Sam
mechanic
Panthers,
shop.
dude. This is my fucking name from
can't-
now on.
That cannot be his real
That's
name.
dude. You
I'm
got.
a
I
big
just
video
seriously,
game.
George,
Jay,
from
I
now
was
on.
going to claim it first. Give me that.
Fuck you. I'm Sam Panthers.
And all my
No
video
joke.
games now, I'm going to use that. Yeah, I'm Sam Panthers.
That's a porno name, dude.
Okay,
It might be made up. I don't know. Anyways, he's got his own repair shop. He also does tour rentals for trailers and vans, and he's got this van set up for us. It's got 4 or 5 rows. I think we're going to be able to sleep in the van, and it comes with a trailer too. So he's hooking us up with that. He goes by the Satanic Mechanic.
Yes.
So yeah, he's an awesome guy, and he's helping us out big time with that.
Is this going to be your first road trip as a band, guys, touring around?
No, not necessarily. We've gone to, like I said, Nebraska, and we've kind of floated around the Glenwood Springs.
So you have done the van thing?
We have, yes. And before he was in the van, before he was in the band,
therefore
Sean
the
was
van.
still the drummer, right? And before the van, we actually had a van with our old drummer, and we went on a road trip in 2010 to California. We actually played the Whiskey A Go Go and opened up for Immolation Invader, so that was ridiculously awesome. And then came back around, played in New Mexico, so that was kind of our first little taste. But now we're actually getting a legit leg of a tour on.
Just, check the tires, fucking keep the speed down, because every couple months you hear these tragic stories of these bands either fell asleep, blew a tire, the van flipped over 37 times.
It seems to be more recent now too.
Yeah.
Or I'm just hearing about it. I don't know,
And
but yeah.
luckily everybody most times makes it out okay, but then you always hear how the gear is trashed. Just
Right.
watch it. Just watch yourself.
Getting stolen and whatever.
or getting
It's
stolen. You guys-
stolen. Yeah, that's the
Oh.
big one too.
yeah, you always hear about them assholes stealing band shit.
Whole van's worth of equipment driving down the bad
Well,
side.
it'll be easier since we'll be all sleeping in the car. So
well,
I
there
guess
you go.
that'll.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they break in, we'll have to fight them, I suppose. We'll see. I'll bring my nunchucks.
The fact that you pronounce it nunchucks makes me think you're not too familiar with how to use those.
They make you go numb, right?
No, you got it. No, you're right there. That's good. I mean, I fucking know, but
When they're on tour, they leave a pile of priests in their wake.
well, the whole time, George, we're sitting here, I'm trying to think of. You remember when Twisted Sister went out as Bent Brother? I'm trying to think of a word for pile as nun, so you guys can do a side thing called the something of nuns. But I just can't come up with it, so I'm gonna keep thinking.
One of the guys who interviewed us not too long ago, he what did he say? He said mounds of ministers.
There you go.
Oh, that's good.
I got one with nuns. From the Nile came nuns.
There you go, dude. Also, Altar Boys. We can work on
deep.
something with the Altar Boys.
With the Altar Boys, indeed.
Again, we're talking to guys from Pile of Priests, Void 2, Enlightenment. It's on Bandcamp now. You guys also have a Facebook page. Anywhere else where you can direct people to check out your guys' shit?
Yeah, so when right before we released the CD, we put it up on CD Baby, and we were able to get it on Apple Music, Apple Streaming, Google Play, Spotify. We also got it on a bunch of other streaming and downloading services internationally as well. So it's basically available wherever you want it.
And if you guys wouldn't have done that on your own through CD Baby, some Russian hacker would have put you guys on the Pirate Bay. And
the funny thing is, like, after we started like releasing it more and using a PR company and stuff, it did get sent to a couple like Russian review sites, and then after that, we started noticing it on like 20 different torrent sites.
Those Russians, man.
Yeah,
we
Google that shit. Yeah, it's
can't
on
remember
every Russian torrent site, I guarantee you.
I can't remember the band who it was, but you remember George and Jay? They came on. They're like, we knew we made it when it was Russian torrent
It's
sites.
perihelion.
Yeah. Then we knew we had made it.
I wanted to ask you. I wanted to ask you about your logo and your cover artwork. Who did those?
So the logo itself was done by our good friend Andrew Sars. He plays in Scepter of Elgos currently. And the album artwork, that was done by Sam Nelson, a wonderful artist, great guy to work with. He lives in Salt Lake City right now.
It's like suburb.
Yeah, somewhere in the pits of hell in Utah.
Right.
And but yeah, no, he's a great guy. He's also doing our tour artwork for our flyer. Stigma is his page, and but yeah, no, great guy to work with. Any band listening to this right now, if you guys want great artwork, go to him.
Yeah, Sam Nelson has done artwork for just about any handful of Denver bands. I can name them off right now, but there's too many. He's kind of like the go-to guy for like artwork down here in Denver, and rightfully so. It's incredible stuff. Like, so, I mean. Yeah, definitely. And he worked with us. You know, it's kind of hard to, kind of go in between messages like, no, I'm thinking more colors or a little bit less of this or whatever. But he did something that was, totally portrayed what we were going for. I mean, obviously, the image, it looks like you're coming out of a cave and then you see the sun and the mountains.
Awesome.
You're getting out of the void to be enlightened.
Nice.
I have to ask you guys, with YouTube popularity, will we see a music video from you guys?
Possibly. Probably
please
not
don't do a
soon.
lyric video.
Yeah, those are pretty lame. I agree. The videos that I have up on YouTube, I just kind of, did
I
them with
saw you guys
those
smashing
really-
a bottle of dollar bills.
Oh, yes. That was fun. No, there's no plans for a music video right now. Like Patrick said, we're really busy this year. So we got the tour coming up. Hopefully in May, we're going to be recording another EP. And then after that, we have a couple things in the summer plan, possibly another tour. And then, something to kind of support the EP as well, maybe in the end of the year.
Okay. I'm going to ask it because if you could see, I don't know if you can see over my shoulder, my huge vinyl collection. All three of us are vinyl guys. First off, do you guys collect vinyl? We like to ask everybody. And will there be a Pile of Priest vinyl one day?
We are not vinyl collectors. I am a CD collector. That's just my medium. I used to work at a local records shop called Angelo's, and I swear, like every shift, I'd pick up a new CD. So I've, beefed up my collection indeed. But there are, people who love the vinyl, and we were thinking about it too. But it's pretty pricey to print, and especially for us right now, there's just other merchandise items that we'd rather have, like more T-shirts. We want to have enough CDs. A lot of people, especially in Denver, they go for the cassettes, and it just drives me nuts because, like, where the fuck am I going to play this thing?
Yeah, fuck that, dude. Don't
agree.
fucking take that bait. That's bullshit. That's
I think
like
it's
times
silly.
1,000.
Yeah, it's like a
I'm
nice
like,
little thing to have, but like,
Yeah. Is there any way you guys could put this out on a 78 record? I mean, come on, go fucking,
Right? Just a single?
or reel to reel, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't
That's
understand.
how we're going to record the EP is reel to reel.
Yeah, good man.
I don't understand the whole cassette. I understand the vinyl thing because
Nobody does.
9 times out of 10, you get a nice download code, but I don't understand the cassette thing.
I've got piles of them here that haven't been played in 20 years.
And you probably hate that dusty pile.
I do. I've been meaning. I mean, I don't know why I held on to them, but I'm a pack rat, I guess. But I would never ever listen to any of these again unless I absolutely had to.
You know how
Yeah,
some
right.
guys come home and like take out their anger, or like they smack around something, or they drink beer. George comes home and just slaps the cassette deck. Just
Fuck you.
Well,
Do we need to have an intervention for your collection?
Well, these people that like cassettes obviously have not dealt with the agony of. I remember when Exodus: Pleasures of the Flesh came out. I bought it on cassette, and I took it home, and it immediately got eaten by my tape player.
Yeah.
And to the point where I had to take the whole thing apart and put the cassette back together inside like a Maxell case because it was just completely fucked. And when you're in high school and don't have any money, that's you're just like, no, like the Darth Vader,
Right.
I don't miss that at all.
I don't get that at all.
It's because they smoke too much hash.
Yeah, there you go.
They forgot why you don't use those anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, they do. Well, they'll be reminded soon enough if they try them. You know what? I'm really not
Exactly.
enjoying this.
Right? Like, why did we decide to do that?
What the fuck?
And I also wanted to mention too your guys' Bandcamp. The album is only $6. Come on, guys, people, you spend more money on coffees or shit each day. Buy this albums for these guys.
Yep.
You guys have any Twitter handles, anything like that, where other people can follow you guys?
We're on Twitter also. I think we're starting up an Instagram. We're definitely going to get that going for tour to keep people posted. We're going to be posting a bunch of videos and keeping everybody updated that way. Facebook is usually our first place to go, especially since all our friends are already there. They can see it. They can share it. So we got to get, more diverse into Twitter and kind of go that route. But we're definitely going to try and get on every social media site that we can, but not MySpace.
Breaking ground there, yeah.
What is a MySpace anyway?
No idea. So why don't we play a song from Void to Enlightenment? The first song we want to play is called Deranged Youth Secession. Can you tell us about that one?
That one is the song that I wrote about like school shootings and just kind of how, somebody's their past and, maybe their parents could weigh into how they come to do such violent acts of selfishness. And how our society plays into that as well. And it's our longest song from the album. It's almost 9 minutes long. And I think, it's probably the opus in my opinion. There's just so much going on. And I think, as far as like technicalities too, that was definitely one of the more technical songs, and trying to execute playing it and singing it at the same time was a chore for me. I write these riffs and I'm like, now I had to sing to this. What? I'm an idiot, But yeah, no, it's one of my favorite tracks from the album, and it definitely, pushes through as such.
All right. This is Pile of Priests from Void to Enlightenment, Deranged Youth Secession.
Yeah.
All right, that was the first part of our interview with Pile of Priests, and that was their song Deranged Youth Secession. Stick around to the end of the show, and we will play you another song from Pile of Priests. Why don't we get into some news? So it's been announced that Metallica are the ambassadors for Record Store Day 2016. Wasn't last year Dave Grohl, I think?
Oh, was he? I don't know.
I know he was in the past. I just don't know if it was last year or if I'm...
Sure. Okay,
know.
that makes.
Remember,
I don't know exactly what that means. I mean, does that mean we're going to see some, exclusive Metallica, vinyl?
It's an honorific title only.
Yeah, I mean...
but I think we've received Metallica every year on Record Store Day.
Oh,
I remember we
they
had
do.
that, like, Lords of Summer or whatever
Yeah.
it's called.
And last year was the cassette, the No Life Till Leather cassette last year.
Yeah, the one that was gone in a second.
Gone in a second.
Yeah.
I had read in the news article I read that they were sort of instrumental in its rise, the Record Store Day, or maybe they've just always supported it. I don't know, but hey, we'll see what it means. I think our second news story is probably not too related, but it might be a little bit.
Yeah, they're also reissuing Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning in April on vinyl, and unfortunately, I've already got them on vinyl, so I don't know that I'm going to pick them up again. But
Well, these are also very pricey box sets, George, that come with all kinds of extra shit. I mean, they may well do just a single version too of just the album, but you might go look at it. It's like they both come with like a live show and like demos of that were done at the time, and just a shitload of stuff comes in this box. It's huge.
a pair of
both of
Lars
them.
used underwear.
I think there's like a couple $100, so you might get some underwear in it. You never know.
Yeah, Metallica are the kings of overpriced box sets.
Yep, well, they got fans that'll do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Not me.
So, I was watching the Grammys recently. I wasn't really watching. I was sitting there insulting them while my wife yelled at me for insulting them, and because she likes to watch them. And I was surprised towards the end of the show that they did a tribute to Lemmy, which was very surprising given how the Grammys completely ignore heavy metal, despite the token, metal performance Grammys that they give, like in a back alley somewhere. But the Hollywood Vampires came out and did a tribute for Lemmy, and that was like Alice Cooper singing, and Joe Perry from Aerosmith, and Johnny Depp, and Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses, and some other people that I didn't know who they were. But there was a giant picture. Is that picture of Lemmy where he's got his he's pointing, and he's kind of looking like, "Hey,"
Yeah.
like it's like sort of the Lemmy Fonz move. And he's like, "Ugh." But they had like a banner of that up behind the stage, and I was glad because I'm sure, every time they panned to the audience, I was like, these people have no clue who he is.
Yeah, of course. What did they do? What songs did they do?
They did Ace of Spades at some point. They started with something. I think it was one of their own songs because they put out an album.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then they went on and did Ace of Spades. So
I didn't see it, and I'm sure it's available everywhere. I should go look and take a look at it.
I'm sure it's up on YouTube.
I mean, they did use the Hollywood Vampires was a real thing, like back in the day, where it was a bunch of guys who got together and basically got drunk in the 70s, and then probably pushed into the 80s. And Alice Cooper was an actual member of that group, and I think Lemmy probably was at some point. And they called themselves that, and they used to just be, it was like a weird little social club or something, and they all just went to the Rainbow and got drunk, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think not even basically, that's all they did.
Yeah. And in case you care, Ghost won Best Metal Performance.
I kind of care, but it's like one of those things with the I mean, none of us probably takes the Grammy seriously, I'm willing to bet.
No.
So there's that. But then secondarily, they always get to the party late. If they deserved a Grammy, it was for that first fucking record. But of course, they're not going to hear about some independent band on the Grammy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, so.
So, speaking of Gothic-themed bands, this is a band this next item is about a band that Buke told me about the other day.
Do you know that this band's a super group?
Is it?
Yep.
It's a super group, you said, Buke?
Yeah. Wait till let George tell the story, and I will mention some of the bands the guys are from.
The band is called Them, as in King Diamond's Them, and they're releasing an album soon called Sweet Hollow. It's going to be coming out in the spring. Right now, you can get a 3-song sampler up on Bandcamp and
Called Fear Them.
Fear Them. And, you told me about this. I was actually at the gym at the time. I pulled it right up on Bandcamp, and I was like, holy shit. There are two things that immediately sprung to mind. First of all, King Diamond's going to be knocking on your door going, hey, what the fuck? This is my music.
This is King Diamond, like, stamped out.
Yeah. There's a band called Attic that I have talked about in the past. And they sound very King Diamond-esque, but not this much. This is really like they hit his high notes and his low notes just like perfect.
I mentioned that this was a all-star group. You have Troy Knorr from Cold Steel on vocals. Trying to see other guys that step out. Guitarist is Marcus Johansson from Forearm.
And the Washington Capitals.
Yes. Drums is Kevin Talley from Suffocation.
Is that true? He plays for the Caps?
No, it's just there's a guy named Marcus Johansson on the Caps.
Well, I mean, weird things have happened. But
Kevin Talley, he's the Decrepit Birth, Dying Fetus, Misery Index, 6 Feet Under, and Mike LaPond on bass of Symphony X.
That's quite a pedigree there.
Yeah.
Very wide-ranging styles.
Exactly. Very wide-range group, and it's cool you can tell that they're probably fans of King Diamond, and again, this is King Diamond. If you would not have been told what this is, you could think, hey, this is King material I haven't heard.
Some record I'd never heard before.
Yeah, the second item that I said that I thought of when I heard it was, damn, this is awesome. Because, it sounds like King Diamond, but it sounds really good. I love the guitar tone in these songs.
It sounds really good, dude. It's well produced.
Yeah, nobody plays like this anymore. It's all either death metal, black metal, doom metal. Nobody plays this just like really good, just metal. That it's all got to go into some sort of subgenre or whatever. But I just love guitar playing like this.
Traditional.
The lead singer wears makeup where it looks like he has like a burned inverted cross going across like the side of his face.
Nice.
Kind of like Two-Face.
And apparently they're going to be touring with Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh, good for them.
Yep, which should be interesting, the heaven and hell. All right.
Click on that link I just sent you.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
I don't know how to get there.
Oh, yeah, dude, that's fucking cool. And that is so King Diamond, even without, the hat and the everything.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
It's wicked, man.
Oh, yeah. So it's been long overdue, but Deep Purple are finally getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And as is so often the case with bands that have splintered over the years, you have to wonder who's going to show up for this thing. And surprisingly, to me, Deep Purple said that they are unwilling to play with Ritchie Blackmore. I kind of thought it would be the other way around. Apparently,
I think it's just because there's just so much acrimony there now, dude.
But still, I thought it was all on Ritchie's end. I thought that,
No,
Ritchie,
you know what it is? And I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, George. We've come full circle, and this is the same thing happened with Pink Floyd, unrelated as they may be. And what I mean is Roger Waters for years was a prick. And they all got to hating him so much. And now Roger Waters, finally, many, 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 many years later, just in the last few years, has been like, I miss the guys. It'd be nice to get together with them. And I know I was kind of a jerk. And they're like, no, never again, buddy. And I honestly think that's where they are with him. He like threatened to kill Ian Gillan a couple of times and things like that. So he's not quick to forgive,
Guess not.
Yeah, which it's too bad. It's too bad because he is a defining member of that band.
To be sure.
Yeah. Is almost as much as or more than Gillan, if you ask me. Ritchie Blackmore was Deep Purple in a big way. So, yeah, it's too bad. It's too bad that shit happens. But, hey, man, Ritchie is famous for burning bridges, and apparently he can't rebuild this one.
Apparently. Volbeat is apparently finishing mixing a new album that at this time has no release date. But I'm definitely kind of looking forward to that. I really liked their last one.
Did you like them, Buke? I still don't really know these guys for whatever reason.
No, I liked it a lot.
Okay.
They're pretty commercial, but they're pretty awesome too.
I hear that almost exact review from a lot of people. That's pretty much what people say about them. Both of those things.
I dig the guy's voice.
I was joking.
You don't like them?
Joking. No, I can't stand them.
Well, poo-poo on you. I liked it.
I can't stand them.
All right, then. Moving on. Well, what about these guys? Gojira has also finished mixing their new album.
We've been waiting for years for these guys for this album.
Yeah, and I believe it's coming soon, like in the next March, April, May,
There's a lot of talk
something
about
like that.
I heard some pretty exciting things about it in when they were interviewing the Joseph, I think is his name, or Joe or whatever. And he was basically saying that generally they've always written a bunch of songs and they went in there and they thought, well, we can make this work or whatever. But he said this time time we would get something, and if it didn't seem interesting, we threw it away, you know? So I think this is one of those things where a band is suddenly in a hyper focus, and it sounds to me like this is going to be kind of a special record.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so.
Have you guys heard the new Amon Amarth song, First Kill, from their new concept album?
Yes, sir. I have. I like it.
I personally haven't.
You haven't heard it?
No, I have not heard. I am a big fan of them, so I want the whole package all at once.
Fair enough.
You're giving it the Star Wars treatment.
Exactly. I don't want
Going dark on Amon Amarth.
Yep. I don't want a little tease and then, I can't get anything for a while,
Yeah, well, I've been playing it a lot, and it's pretty badass.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Andy Sneap is producing again, and the production is brilliant, and the video is kind of interesting too.
Oh, I didn't watch the video, but I will.
Yeah, it's not a lyric video; it's a real video.
It's real.
It's par for the course for them, because there's no huge surprises in it, but it's good. I mean, it's a good song.
Yeah, it's just more awesome Amon
There you
Amarth.
go. Yeah.
So we got a whole slew of albums coming out in the next couple of months. Isan's new album, Arctis, unfortunately, it was supposed to come out in March, but has now been pushed back to April 8th, so we have to wait a little bit longer for that one. I was really surprised and overjoyed to hear that Shamash has a new album coming out called Triangle on April 29th. If you recall, their last album, Contradiction, was high up on my list in 2014, I believe it was. It was a really good album, so I'm really hoping that this one is like even better than the last one.
It was one of the best records of that year, and I'm a huge fan of these guys. I follow them on Facebook, so I would see when they were doing updates and recording, but I have to be honest, I didn't know about this release date until you put it on the script. So I'm super psyched about this. This will be one of my most anticipated releases right now. And judging by some of the photos, George, it's going to be cool, because there was like all these pictures of them recording in a monastery using weird old instruments. It sounds like it's just going to be a real thing.
Yeah, it's awesome. And, the fact that I just found out about it and now it's only out in like 2 months, that's like,
Even
goody.
better.
When you hear about, your one of your favorite bands has a new album out and it's like, it'll be out in 9 months. And you're like, all right, start waiting.
I agree. When I read this and the date, I was like, fuck, this is great, dude.
There's so
Good news.
many.
This is good metal news.
Yeah, so many bands are like surprising me with stuff. In fact, we've got a couple more of here that are actually quite surprising. Next up is Vector, and they're releasing their new album, Terminal Redux, on May 6th. I don't know if you've heard these guys, Jay, but they're pretty badass. Sci-fi thrash.
I have not.
That's Vector with a K, Vektor. Make sure to check out their first 2 albums.
Gonna do.
Black Future and Outer Isolation.
Cool, dude. All right, good. Yeah, no, I don't know them at all.
Next up is another one that's coming out of left field and surprising me, and I'm super excited about, is the new Grand Magus album called Sword Songs, and that's coming out on May 13th. Their last album, Triumph and Power, was, the title song was one of my favorite songs of that year. So hopefully they got some more good stuff in store for us.
Yeah, their records are great. They're one of those bands that you can just kind of count on, and they're nothing super fancy or anything like that. Just this big riffy, not quite stoner rock, but just big riffy band.
Just
but
pounding your fist in the air, fist pumping kind of music. Yep. It's just like, yeah.
I haven't listened to these guys, George, since you had me check out Hammer of the North. So I may dive back. I know. I remember one time we went to the store and you bought like 4 of their records of Soundgarden or a couple. So I should probably dive back into them.
Yeah,
check out Iron Will. They have a lot of great records, but Iron Will is one of my favorites.
Yeah, there was one album. I can't even remember which one it is now. It was the one before Triumph and Power.
The Hunt.
The Hunt.
Yeah.
I kind of like ragged on them for that one.
Yeah, you did.
But I got over it. I like it now.
Yeah, they are not afraid to kind of take a couple left and right turns here and there, so to speak. I mean, within a pretty small, it's not a wide highway they're taking these turns on. It still always sounds like them. But yeah, man, I like Grand Magus. Actually, I'm excited about this record. That'll be cool. I'm glad to hear it's coming out.
Yeah, and then this next one totally threw me. I was like, what? Death Angel is getting ready to release The Evil Divide on May 27th. I have no doubt that will be exquisite thrash metal.
Yeah. I did kind of know this was coming just because I've been following them a little bit, and I hear when they were mixing it and shit like that. But yeah, good for them, dude.
When you say following them, you mean like stalking them, right?
Yeah, essentially, yes.
Since they are from the Bay Area.
Since they are around here.
And as far as releases, we've got one more. Candlemass has set June as the time period when they're going to release their new EP, Death Thy Lover. So I guess we'll finally get to hear this new singer.
Yeah, and I medium grade excitement on me on this one. I'm hopeful, but when you start getting into 3 and 4 singers, it gets a little, things get a little rough when you're getting on your 3rd singer. So I'm sure the music will be great and everything, but I already kind of got emotionally attached to 2 different voices in this band. So
yeah,
but I'll hold out hope. I mean, it might kick our asses all over the place.
Never can tell.
Never can tell. And it is Candlemass after all, so.
Exactly. So we're always complaining about we don't have big metal festivals in the United States. We've got Maryland Death Fest, and I know there's like the New England Hardcore and Metal Festival. And, well, that's still really just about it, because this new Chicago Open Air Festival, as far as I'm concerned, is a giant piece of shit.
You said the lineup was shitty, so like who's on it? I didn't even look.
Okay, well, let me give you some of the names. On Friday, Rammstein, I'll just run down the list. Like Rammstein, Chevelle, Ministry of Mice and Men.
I am getting bored. Yeah, keep going.
Meshuggah, Devil Wears Prada, In This Moment, Trivium, Hollywood Undead, Hatebreed.
Yeah, there's a few good ones.
Like Saturday, Disturbed, Korn, Breaking Benjamin, Gojira, Helmet, Deaf Heaven.
Yeah, it's like they've got Gojira, which is
Carcass.
good. They've got Carcass and Deaf Heaven. They've got personally, I'm okay with Ministry.
They got Killswitch Engage, Corrosion of Conformity.
That was the other one, COC.
So this is a weird bill.
Yeah, it's just not.
And my most hated band, Baby Metal.
Yeah, Baby Metal. It's like Rock on the Range. I know people that I've been to Rock on the Range. Just because some friends of mine were playing there and I went along. It's kind of like Rock on the Range. It's all these like commercial hard rock acts. It's not really a metal show.
No thanks.
Carcass is like swimming in a sea of commercial bullshit here. I don't understand what that's all about.
No, why would you go? Why would you put yourself through a day of that just to see Carcass?
You a Ministry fan, guys?
I am.
Medium. They were big when I was working in a record store back in the 90s, and we certainly played them a lot at the record store. And I like some of it. I in all honesty, don't own any of their records,
Psalm 69 is my favorite. That's the Mike Scotcha one that's just fucking brilliant. Guitar work all over it. Filth Pig was pretty good.
It's Al Jorgensen. Boy, he looks fucking weird now.
He's a rough looking dude, yeah.
Yeah, he does. In fact, our next story happens to be about Al's new band. So let me sort of preface that. When Mike Scotcha died, like days after finishing recording the last Ministry album, Al Jorgensen just was like, I can't do this anymore. There will be no more Ministry albums. Yeah. And so Al has started up another project called Surgical Meth Machine. And they just released a lyric video for the song Tragic Alert. And if you like Ministry, you'll like this. It's pretty fast and heavy, sort of like the last Ministry album. To be honest, I had to go back and double check and make sure this wasn't like a final project for Mike Scotcha, because the fucking guitar work was just super fast and precise, just like his playing. But so there you have it. Al's new project.
He's getting up there in age too. I mean, he's got to be maybe even his 60s.
Yeah, and I read his book sometime last year, and damn, is he lucky to be alive.
Oh, yeah.
Big time. I mean, he was one crazy son of a bitch.
Yeah, Al's done some drugs.
Yeah, he's done them all.
Yeah.
There's none left. Al did them all.
Al's done the drugs.
Yeah. But, all right, one last item here, and I'm sure Buke's going to tap out on this one. But Baby Metal they're streaming their new song called Karate. And I got about halfway through it before I said, my fascination with Baby Metal is over.
Can I go on record saying I have never, ever liked a single fucking thing that these band has ever done? I don't see what the allure is to them. Fuck it.
I don't like them per se. I found them a curiosity, just like a car wreck or, it's just, you look at it and you're just trying to understand what's going on here. And, but I'm over it. I'm ready to move on.
I love that is your take on it too. I mean, I never even looked close enough to really know the difference, but I love that your take was, oh, okay, that joke has run its course.
Pretty much, and we discussed that in the past when the album first came out. We were like, is this going to have staying power or not? And we were all sort of in agreement, I think, that it was just like, no, this is, it's a novelty. It was a novelty kind of thing.
Yeah,
and, that novelty is going to wear off. And for me, it has, because I'm just like, whatever. It's just, it's not good. It's not good. All right, let's do new releases.
This week's new releases, yeah,
I'm super excited about this first one because, well, it's awesome, frankly. This is the new Anthrax, For All Kings.
Buke and I think, are both behind the ball on this one, George. We haven't listened to it yet, especially since I saw Buke ask you, could you put it in the box this morning? And so I'll be downloading today and listening to it. I did listen to samples. Sounds great. Hoping for the best. And I know you're impressed with it. So,
George and I have spoken many times about our love for worship music.
You know what? Just include me in that, Buke, because that was one of those records that blew me away that year. So I have high hopes for this.
I really hope you guys like it. The only song I don't really care for is the one they're playing now, Breathing Lightning. Okay. And even that, I'm like, I'll take that over Justin Bieber any day.
Well, I looked at what I did do, and now that's in the box, I'll have the whole thing. But I went and I listened to the samples on iTunes. But then I looked at one of the reviews, and the iTunes featured review is a rave. The one that they kind of just put, not like by a user. Yeah. And they were just like, this is just a love note to heavy metal. You know. It is. It's really good. It's a little different, but not too different. It still has sort of some of that like worship music feel to it. Good for them, dude. Good for them to be this far along in their career and making basically their best records at this point. Yeah, I really like the track Monster at the end. The one they've been playing a lot, Evil Twin, is really good. And there's another one called Defend Avenge. Fucking brutal. Not brutal, just fucking awesome. Cool. And so check that out. There's also the new Anvil album. Anvil is Anvil. And it will have the word anvil. It'll have the word anvil on the cover 3 times. 3 times. Anvil is the word, and the word shall be 3 times. Anvil, anvil, anvil. And you do that, and then they show up at your house and they play heavy metal music. Well, the name of the movie was actually kind of funny. It was something like, it had the word anvil in it twice. It was like the... Anvil, the story of Anvil. Yeah, Anvil, the story of Anvil. That's what it was. Yeah. But, if you like Anvil, it's more of the same. I like Anvil, so I am well pleased with what I received. And I'd like to point out that as we mentioned in the last episode, I backed the album and got a couple of cool things from it. But what was really cool is when they finally sent the link to download the album, they included a FLAC link. I was like, yes! Oh, dude, that's cool. Good. Yeah, not a lot of people do that, so thank you, Anvil. What label are they on, George? Are they on a label? I don't know. Okay. You looking it up?
Anvil's on Steamhammer.
Okay, yes. Yeah, so that's good for them. Good for them that's good. They got somebody behind them who can actually pay for their record. So. Yep. And their fans paid for their record. Yeah. But anyway. So next up we have Destroyer 666 and their new album Wildfire. I got it. I think we're all pretty probably excited about that one. I know Buke has been talking about them lately. I listened to it all the way through last night. It's like black thrash. Yeah, but they go a couple of different directions this time. There's a little more traditional stuff in there too. Even one song in particular is just almost like a traditional style heavy metal song without being really an obviously thrash song. This is a good record. I'm really enjoying it. I've only been through it once, but it's definitely one that's going to be... I was intrigued enough to keep spinning it. I like them anyway, but yeah, this one's going to get rolling with me. Got a cool cover too. And we'll be seeing them at Maryland Death Fest this year. Which is one of the reasons I was moved. I wouldn't always think of these guys right away, but I moved to get it right away because it's like, I'm going to be seeing, I better get that new record right away. So yeah, you guys are both going to like it. It's I think of them as in this mildly in that goat whore category, Yeah, that makes sense. A little bit more old school, catchy and stuff, but still modern enough to get by. I actually will just go on the bot now and say I recommend this record. Well, all right then.
You heard it first from Jay.
You heard it first here.
Jay's stamp of approval has been activated. Next up, the new Entombed AD album, Dead Dawn, is also out. You been listening to that at all, Buke?
I have. It's more of my death and roll, baby. I'm liking Entombed still.
Yep.
Ain't nothing more to say. If you like Entombed, if you like that kind of death roll that they do, you know what you're getting into here.
Hell yeah.
Did they coin that term? Because that's the perfect way to describe them.
That was the first time I heard it, was when Wolverine Blues came out. They called it death and roll.
That is the perfect fucking genre for them.
Yep.
Genre name. Cool.
I just came up with it right now. What are you doing?
Yeah. And I came up with Cookie Monster vocals. I really did.
We're going to be rich.
That was when Scream Bloody Gore came out. I was like, he sounds like Cookie Monster. But anyway.
Oh, you did? Really? Is that true?
It is true. I probably didn't coin it, but I came up with it before I heard anybody else say it.
Still mine, damn it.
Still mine.
This next one, we don't know how to say, George, so go ahead and try.
Yeah, this is the Finnish band Oranssi Pazuzu and their new album, Metallia?
I don't know if I think you pronounced it correctly because that's the way I read it too. The first word I don't know, but the second word is the name of the demon in The Exorcist.
Ah, Pazuzu?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is sort of they're billed as psychedelic black metal. I honestly don't get a lot of psychedelic out of it. I mean, I guess maybe they do some like long, meandering kind of.
Yeah, it's not. It's more ISIS-y, droney type stuff.
Yeah, I haven't heard the new album yet. I like the last album, so I'm looking
I went
forward to getting
to
my
it.
hand. Yeah?
Yeah, it's okay. It's
Well,
I haven't heard the first one, so I don't know what it's like. But it's kind of it's almost exactly what I said. It's like a black metal ISIS-y, droney thing. It's not like a super speed album by any strange sense.
Right.
It sounded okay. I didn't give it enough time to give you a real opinion.
Okay. Next up, Voivod is releasing their Post Society EP, and we've already talked about that one, so I'm not going to go into that anymore, but it's definitely cool. If you like Voivod, check it out. Next up is a band I haven't heard from in a while. I think they've been deactivated for some time, probably like 10 years. It's a band called Beseech, and they have a new album coming out, My Darkness, Darkness.
This is an album for Buke and his current thing, unless your kind of prog thing has died a little bit, Buke. But
I'll
this
give
is
it a check out.
This is the John album for sure.
Yeah, this is one. I haven't heard anything from the new album yet. I've got a bunch of their old albums, and at the time it was kind of cool. This was like, harsh vocals with clean female vocals kind of stuff. And I tried to actually listen to some from their Souls Highway album earlier today, and I was like, oof. I remember why I don't listen to this stuff anymore. So I was like, well, there's way too many female vocals on here for me. Not that I have anything with female vocals, but this style, I'm just kind of over.
Me too. Not really my cup of tea. Not to crap on it or anything, but
Well, I'd like to hear what this new album sounds like to see if they've changed anything up at all. But we'll see.
pretty sure I heard it on Spotify. I went and looked. I checked everything on the script today, and I did hear some of that one, and I think it was Spotify is where I heard it. So,
All right. I haven't heard this next one yet either, but I am looking forward to it. It's the new Church of Misery, and Then There Were None. These guys are some interesting doom metal. All their songs tend to be about serial killers, like specific serial killers.
I've never heard them before, but I always see that Kingdom Scum album in our fucking local record store.
Yeah,
every time I go.
Yeah, I've got it on vinyl.
it's even though you could say this about all doom, it's the kind of doom that is pure Sabbath worship of that specifically like Volume 4 era.
This is like what happens when a death metal band writes doom, because it's like the subject matter is all very death metal, but the music is doom.
Yeah, it's total Sabbathy retro. We're using old amps kind of stuff. Yeah.
Next, second to last one, we've got the new Mortis album, The Great Deceiver. I listened to Metal Hammer was streaming this, and I listened to this yesterday, and it's all right. If you like late '90s industrial metal kind of stuff,
It's par for the course for him.
Yeah, it's more of the same. I'm not really there anymore, so I can't really get excited about it, but
Yeah.
it's not bad.
But somebody out there listening is going to be excited.
Yep.
Yeah. Especially since I think it's been a while. I'm trying to remember when the last one came out. It's been good 6 years, as much as 6 years. It's been a while. Maybe even more.
And the last one, I still haven't heard this yet either, but I do have their previous EP. This is the new Oceans of Slumber and Winter. I know they got a new singer on that last EP. Don't recall her name, but it was a really cool EP, and I'm looking forward to hearing this one. All right, let's get into our top 3.
What's your topic? What's your topic? What's your bittersweet?
This time I came up with the probably not so brilliant idea to list our top 3 albums we like to listen to on vinyl.
I mean, it is brilliant in its way, and it's not. It's just hard in its way because we were sort of like. I mean, you guys probably had as much trouble as I did.
Well,
It is hard because the more I thought about it, there's albums that I want to love on vinyl. There's albums that I've spent a lot of money to try and get on vinyl. Rainbow Rising being one. I wanted that album the day I started collecting vinyl records. I got it. I don't know if it was a bad press or just how it was back then. It's horrible.
Is it an original one? Then in other words,
It is.
you got?
It is. Oh, it is. Yeah.
Well,
There was a nice reissue of that, by the way, Buke. Just so you know, a nice $20.
Yeah, I
reissue.
think you've mentioned that before. I probably should just get that.
Just fucking get it, yeah.
One thing I thought of was that that you're sort of limited by your collection at this point.
Yeah.
You know, as to what, you know, because if you don't have it on vinyl, then how would you know if you like to play it on vinyl? So, yeah, I was like, oh, that won't be so bad. But then, you know, I went through my Discogs looking to go, okay, what do I have and what do I really like to listen to? And so it was tougher than I expected. So there's a couple obvious ones for me. I went for the easy wins that I know I like to listen to. So
Perfect. Well, I'm going to crank it out then. I'll start out with my number 3, which is a High on Fire record, Death is This Communion. And I have High on Fire digitally on vinyl, probably most of them. And for some reason, I do put this one on vinyl more than any of the other High on Fire records. It's a real punchy. This is the one that opens with Fury Whip, which is such a great song. And it's just got a great cover. It's just a good vinyl experience. So
Excellent.
High on Fire's Death is This Communion.
cool. Buke, what do you got for number 3?
This is a band that you and I were turned on to a couple years ago. It's a old 70s type of sound. This is the band The Dagger.
Ah,
They sound that 70s again, Deep Purple throwback sound. This is a self-titled album, and it just kind of goes back to that time when records were originally being pressed on vinyl, and it just shines through. Not super heavy by any means, but it sounds great. And while I have it here, I have to go on record. Alice in Chains Unplugged is still my favorite vinyl, but it's not metal, so I'm not going to include it on my list.
now I want to go listen to the Dagger one. I've got that on vinyl too, and so good. My number 3 is Nightfall by Candlemass.
Oh, dude.
As one of my earliest vinyl purchases, and to this day, I just think that it just sounds so cool on vinyl, playing it through the speakers, you know. It's just heavy and warm.
I think, and I don't know, I can't predict what you're going to have, Buke, and I don't know if this is just the retro thing or what, but Doom is vinyl is pretty important to Doom. So I'd be surprised if we don't have at least one kind of Doomy record. So Candlemass is a great choice.
What's your number 2?
Yeah, it comes back to me. My number 2 is one that I first heard on LP. I did not have it for many years, and I got the reissues when they came out, and it's Led Zeppelin 1. It does my childhood mind good to put that record on vinyl and listen to it. I sit there, I hold the cover in my hands when I'm doing it. Those remasters that came out a little while back were insanely well done. So I've got just this scratch-free, completely smooth, non-hissy Led Zeppelin 1. Love to put it on.
I got those reissues as well, and I have to agree. Now I want to go listen to that too.
Yeah, they're nice, man. They're nice. They're super nice, and they did them all exactly like they were when they came out. So you got all the weird little packaging shit and stuff, which was great because I wasn't buying records when the Zeppelin records came out because I was a little bit too young. So it was fun to get it. It was like what it must have felt like to buy, Houses of the Holy for the first time. So,
Yeah.
Dick, what's your number 2?
I'm doing double duty because it's number 2, so double deuces. Opeth, they're very similar bands. Opeth Ghost Reveries sounds amazing on vinyl. And what I use this one on vinyl to actually show off my nice speakers that I have. Between the Buried and Me, the Parallax 2.
That's another good one. In fact, I showed off my speakers to you with that one.
You certainly did, buddy.
That's right.
Hey, Buke, I noticed, to kind of sidetrack you for a minute, that you got your Deliverance and Damnation in the mail the other day, or maybe you bought it in the store.
Yep.
Is there anything fun in that package? What is it like when you open the box?
Plain Jane. It's I thought it was not even a gatefold. It's just you open it. It's one of those ones that's kind of like a folder almost in a sense.
Okay.
And just three records in there. Deliverance, since it's longer songs, those make up 3 records. Or sorry, 2, and Damnation's 1 by itself. And
inside the box, are they merely in a slip cover, or are they
just a slip cover?
Okay, all right.
And it's really nice though, remastered mixes by Steve Wilson. So it sounds, you could tell where different levels were tweaked and raised, and
yeah.
So it's cool.
Okay.
While we're on that topic, really quick, what do you guys think? We've talked about this, but I'm not talking about when they remaster to kick out members of the group and stuff like that?
Oh, you mean like Ozzy?
Exactly. What do you guys think when they go back and they let somebody else remaster an album?
It depends. I mean, like, it wouldn't make sense if Zeppelin did it because Jimmy Page was the guy who mastered shit in the first place and
Yep.
mixed it and stuff. So, and in some cases, it's guys, they're letting people do it and they let somebody else do it in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, so it's probably okay. I guess it depends on the person and the vision. And I've never heard a remaster that's so, or a remix, more importantly, that's so thoroughly changed the record. You know what I mean? Within reason. There's a couple. And one that comes to mind is there's a whole new vocal line on the remix of Melissa, on the song Melissa from Merciful Fate. And it kind of ruins the song for me. There's this one thing at the end where he doesn't sing and suddenly there's this voice there. And that was like a weird fucking choice.
Because, see, the interesting thing about this, Jay, Steve Wilson, he engineered and produced this.
In the first place.
In the first place. Is it that technology is going at such a rapid pace and that there's more digital mixing and stuff to go with?
I don't know. What do you think, George?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a real good... I don't know if it's...
Like all technology, it's always constantly changing. And so, you know, it's likely that there's better technology than there was even just a few years ago. But then there's also the fact that no artist is ever happy with what they put out, and you can always go back and tweak it more.
Or maybe he goes back and listens to it. It's like, he always gets that one part. He knows what's coming, and he's like, damn it.
I'm going to fix that one part.
I'm going to fix it.
Yeah.
But, you know, too, that package is specifically vinyl, correct, Buke?
Yes, it is.
And I will say this, that a lot of bands fuck up. You know
there
this
is
all
a
too
CD.
well.
No, I take that back. There is a CD.
Okay.
But the interesting thing about this, Jay, both albums were recorded at the same time.
Oh, I remember it well, yeah. But the thing that I was going to say was just like your Wolfhammer CD, rather vinyl, that you fucking hate. Is that Wolfhammer? Is that the name of that band? No, you just got it a little while ago.
I'm thinking about the Woven War.
Woven War, thank you. And so I will say this, if you don't master an album and all that shit for vinyl, that makes a difference. And so that's another thing is maybe they wanted another crack at that. I don't know.
Hard to say.
But you say you've had a slightly different experience with these vinyls than you hear some different things.
Yeah, I do. I listened to it last night with Drunk Matt from the podcast. And you can hear the backing vocal tracks in some parts. The bass is tuned up and down. It really, I just listened to Damnation last night, so I could really pick out parts, and it sounds a lot clearer.
Okay.
I think that's the one key thing I've always liked about Opeth. Their recordings are always knocked out of the fucking park.
I credit Steven Wilson with that.
Oh, hands down, buddy.
Yeah.
So that's what made me prompt you that question to you guys is with his recordings from our end, it always sounds amazing. Why did they go back and do this again?
Because you're never satisfied.
True.
Okay. My number 2 is Fate's Warning, Awaken the Guardian.
Ah, cool.
It's just one of my all-time favorite metal albums, and I don't know, I love putting it on and just relaxing and checking out this album. So
when, George, is that show? The Prog
September.
Power thing? And is that the album they're playing? I forget.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Prog Power.
September. Wow, you got a little ways to wait yet.
Yep. It's okay. I got Deathfest to hold me over.
My number 1 is an album that I mentioned the very first time I was ever on the pod, and Buke said to me, "Oh, Jay, if you put that on in vinyl, you'll shake your house." And he was absolutely right. And I love to listen to this record on vinyl, and it's Paul Bearer, "Foundations of Burden."
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Just fucking so big, heavy, shaky.
Yep.
That's a great one.
That's my last comment on that. Buke, what you got?
My number 1 album I like to listen on vinyl. I paid a pretty penny for this bad boy. Ahab the Giant.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I was going to put that in there, and I opted not to.
And is it perfect?
It is.
That's a good fucking way to put it.
Listen to it digitally does not do it justice. When you hear this clean singing, the recording is perfect. This is what vinyl is all about.
Hell yeah.
Great choice.
And then when I'm not listening to metal, I put in my Steely Dan Asia record, but that's for a different podcast.
Sure. Yeah.
My number 1 is, no surprise, you'll probably roll your eyes, but this is the album that actually reignited my interest in vinyl. This is Woods of Ypres 5, Gray Skies and Electric Light. When when David Gold passed, I immediately lost my mind and just started getting anything and everything that I could get my hands on Woods of Ypres. And that included picking up Woods 5 and Woods 4 as well. On vinyl, even though at the time I didn't even have a working turntable. But it inspired me to go out and buy a new turntable to fix the one that I had broken. And so I went out and bought a new turntable so that I could listen to this. And it was just like, the clouds opened up and I was like, vinyl is good. And so it was all downhill from there.
Yeah, now you're screwed.
Yeah.
Thank God they don't make it out of some explosive material or something, dude, because your house would literally be like, some sort of fucking zone where they couldn't fly airplanes over it or something. You know what I mean? Just like
if vinyl records emitted radiation, George's house in the neighborhood would be like Chernobyl.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we move on to what we're listening to?
my list is pretty short. I did, just as noted, get the Destroyer 666 record, and it's very clear to me I'll be listening to that quite a bit over the next couple of weeks for sure. As I mentioned to George a while back, I've been listening to Hyrix again, enjoying them. A couple other things that are kind of spinning in from the old school that I like. But the record that I'm most obsessed with for this year so far, just put a review up on the webpage, Facebook page, the webpage, is the Rotting Christ Rituals album. I'm loving this fucking record, dude.
Me
It's
too.
one of those ones that I'm kind of spinning it back to back. Like I was listening to it at work the other day. I listened 3 times in a row.
Wow.
It's fucking great.
Are you going to go back and listen to some of the other ones?
Yep. Well, I downloaded them all already.
Okay.
Yeah, and you were right, George. I have to give you props. Triarchy of the Lost Lovers is my favorite one of the old stuff.
Yeah, it's just it's awesome. I want to go back and explore Dead Poem and Sleep of Angels a little bit more, because those were sort of a drastic change in sound from Triarchy, and so I didn't really give them a lot of love when they came out. But I've listened.
I'm going to do the whole catalog. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I started listening to Dead Poem again the other day, and I was like, oh, this is so good. What the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah,
So-
good stuff. Really, and they're just doing something that's a little unique to me. And I want to leave it at that. You can go read the review if you're interested to see what I'm talking about, or even better, go listen to it. So that's definitely my favorite record of the year right now. That's my number one right now.
Right on.
What you listen to, Buke?
I'm going to pull a George this week. You fuckers get ready to hear what I'm listening to, boys.
Okie dokie.
I am listening to, I've gone back and was trying to listen to some albums from 2015 I may have missed. A band by the name of Trial and their album Vessel.
Not to be confused with Trials, that other band.
Yep.
Different
this is
band.
Trial and their album Vessels. Again from last year, Lord Fist.
Oh, yeah.
And their
Every
album
time I hear that name,
Green. I always laugh.
I mean, it's just such a porno name, dude.
Green Eileen or Eileen, however you say it. It's like a speed metal album by Defaced called Forging the Sanctuary. Another one, the band Striker and Stand in the Fire.
That's thrash too, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And it was kind of talked about last year too. A lot of people like that.
And a couple Bandcamp finds. The band Carnival of Flesh and the album Stories from a Fallen World. It's a symphonic black metal album from last year.
Nice. To check that out.
Awesome album art. Out recent, in fact, I think it may have came out a day or two ago. The power metal band Wisdom and their album Rise of the Wise.
I saw that, but I haven't listened to it yet.
Pretty awesome stuff. And the band that I am kicking myself in the fucking teeth for not listening to enough of. Never listening to them in the past, even though they've been around. And you can hear me getting worked up about hating myself right now. Ex Mortis.
I thought you already
right
liked
on,
them.
dude.
I had, but they just fell off. You know what I'm saying? Fell off.
Yeah, you never really.
They never
really did the whole thing. Yeah.
Now, when George gave us the album Ride Forth,
Yep.
I have gone back hardcore and listening to these guys again. Awesome.
I've spun that a few times myself, Duke. That's a really cool record.
Man, it's a really fucking awesome record. And I will get to it in vinyl, but I'll just mention it again right here because why not? Aborted Termination Redo, their EP.
Good stuff.
Yep.
All right.
And again, one more time, the Obscura album is still pretty fucking amazing.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
And I forgot to mention that last episode, talking about Shake Your House fucking bass and guitar bands. The new Conan, Revengeance, is awesome.
Yeah, that's good too.
Okay,
All right.
here we go.
Oh my God. If you thought the last one was long, well, I've got even more.
I'm going to make a theme for you, George. I'm going to make a theme for what is George listening to.
It's going to be in the style of Sleep.
Yep.
Yes, it'll be like Dope Smoker. Just really slow and long for like an hour.
Yeah, and it'll be the music bed whenever you start talking.
Come, my children, and sit around the fire. I will tell you tales of what I've been listening to put you to sleep tonight.
You know, there's two camps. There's people out there listening right now who are like, "Fuck them, George. Give them your list."
Yeah, well, I've gotten a couple of messages from people, and I appreciate it that they're like, "Yeah, man, we like these lists, so I'm going to keep doing them. As you know, whatever I come across, you're going to hear about it."
And if you have a problem with it, do your own podcast.
Yeah, God damn it, it's my podcast. I can say what I want, fuckers.
You save a lot of people a lot of time, and I'm not fucking with you on that. That I'm not joking, dude. Going through GarageBand and every other source can be wildly entertaining, but it can also be mind-numbing. You are the filter, saving a bunch of people a bunch of fucking time.
Yeah, and like I said, I can't stop. Before like 20 minutes before we did the Pile of Priests interview, everything was set up, and I'm just sitting here going, okay, what do I do for the next 20 minutes? I go on Bandcamp and buy 2 more albums. I mean,
Your obsessive dysfunction is to the benefit of our listeners.
yeah. All right. First album, I bitched about them on the last episode because they did not release their album on Bandcamp when they said they were going to. This is the self-titled All Hail the Yeti. I broke down and finally got it so that I could get the FLAC files for it. It's a cool album. It's dangerously, perilously close to being metal core.
It's close.
It's close, but I like it. So, whatever. It is what it is. It's a good album.
I love the name.
Yeah, it's a cool name. And like Jay was saying, we need to get them on tour with Troglodyte. The Yetis versus the Troglodyte, the Bigfoots. Next up is a band called Audrey Fall and their album Mitau. They're an instrumental metal band from Latvia. This actually came out in 2014.
Yep, got it here on Spotify.
I just noticed that they're actually not together anymore, unfortunately, but it's cool instrumental stuff. So check that out. You can get it on Bandcamp or, like you just said, on Spotify. Next up, we have a band. It's a French doom band. This is their second album. I'm going to butcher everything about them. Their name is Barabbas, Barabbas.
He's a bad guy from the Bible.
Oh, okay.
You pronounced it right. Yeah.
Stop being too smart, Jay.
Is it Barabbas?
No, I think that's the way I've heard it, and I'm trying to
Barabbas?
remember what he did. He might have been one of the guys hanging on the cross next to Jesus, but I have to look that up.
The album is in French. It's Messe pour un chien. I have no fucking idea how to pronounce that, but
Is there a question mark on the end of it like that?
nope. But I found them on Bandcamp, and I just thought it was like it's a Doom album, but it's it's not run of the mill. Anything that I hear that's like Doom and is not the same as every other Doom album kind of holds my attention, and they did, so I bought it. The vocals are all in French, unfortunately, but it's kind of they're a lot of clean atmospheric vocals, so it's just kind of ethereal. Next up is the band Cirith Gorgor, and their 6th album, Visions of Exalted Lucifer. These guys are from Netherlands. It's black metal, and what initially caught my attention about these guys is their album art looks in a similar...
I just thought that. I know
a similar style of Bloedhaus Nord, right? Bloedhaus Nord?
No, the Reds, you went different. The Reds, you know what that looks like? The Reds and the Whites? Shemesh.
I was going to say that too. They also have that, like, I think of it as the Bloedhaus Nord from, like, the trilogy albums that
Yeah,
he
but
did.
remember the Shemesh is that red and gold and white.
Yes, no,
Yeah.
that is also a perfectly good comparison.
All right, I just want to kind of validate my wisdom, as Buke says. I don't know, Buke's probably never said that. But in any case, Barabbas was the guy that Pontius Pilate let go when he said, we're going to let somebody go today. Who will it be? And then Jesus ended up on the cross. So Barabbas is the guy who was down at the diner going, whew, that was close.
Dodged a bullet.
Tough day.
Yeah. Alrighty. Next up is a band called Dry as Dust, and that's all one word. The album is called The End. They're a Finnish power trio doing like 60s and 70s influenced hard rock. It's got a slight witchcraft vibe to it, but kind of not. It's just kind of cool, kind of trippy hard rock. Not really like stoner. So I don't know, but check it out. It's on Bandcamp. It's pay what you want, if I believe, or at the most it's a couple bucks, I think. Next up, these guys are awesome. I can't believe I hadn't heard of these guys before. They're called Earthen, and I actually picked up three releases from them on Bandcamp. But the two I'm going to talk about is the EP, which is their latest, called With 12 I Ride, and then the full-length album before that, The Fate That Binds Us All. These guys are a U.S. like folkish metal band, and I heard about them on the Woods of Ypres tribute album, Heart of Gold, which I'm going to go ahead and mention is also something I picked up this week. And they do a cover of one of the Woods of Ypres songs on there, and I was like, wow, these guys are really cool. The singer sounds kind of a lot like, so much so that I had to look it up, like Dan Svano of every other band you've ever heard of.
Dan Swano of Dead Swano.
Yeah, he's got the same like Nightingale, Witherscape kind of vocals, and I was like, ooh.
Band name again?
Earthen, Earthen, and it's really cool. It's also, I believe, pay what you want for each of these. And here's the clincher where I get you guys is on I believe it's the EP with 12 I Ride. The last song is a cover of I Am a Viking.
Oh, no shit.
Oh, dude.
Think of I Am a Viking with Svana singing.
I'm buying that
Dude,
fucking
that's
right
badass.
now.
What's
My
the name of the
God.
EP, George?
It's with 12 I Ride.
You know what? I just learned something valuable, and that's that I never occurred to me to check and see if there was a Bandcamp app. I'm a fucking idiot. I just downloaded it.
You can't buy on it, though.
No.
Can't-
only listen.
okay. But it still helps me search for George's stuff, especially.
Yeah.
George, is that 12 spelled out?
Yes.
Yeah, I got it right here, Buke. I'm going to fucking sample this shit.
Yeah, it's all really good stuff, so I highly recommend all of those. The first album, which I didn't write the name down for, but it's the one that's not these two, is a little more black metal. There's like harsh vocals and stuff, but everything else after that is like all like clean, really, really good stuff. All right, this next one is one that I would also like to impress upon everyone listening to check out. I mentioned this band's last album on a previous episode. This is Hands of Despair and their new album, Bereft. You've heard of people talk about death doom before, and that usually is like, it's doom metal with harsh vocals. It's slow, but they're like, bah. This is more of a death metal with a touch of doom. It's pretty fast a lot of the time, and it's harsh vocals, and this guy's harsh vocals blow my mind. I think they are just amazing. He's got such control over his... It's awesome. He's got this really cool, like, cement mixer gravelly voice, but which is still, like, completely intelligible.
Right now.
It's a new singer on this album, and I was kind of bummed by that, but only until I heard him. This is a really good album, so check these guys out on Bandcamp. I'm going to skip over the next one. It's The Heart of Gold, a tribute to Woods of Ypres. Okay, I'm not going to skip over it. I'll tell you a little bit more. It's just a bunch of bands paying tribute to David Gold from Woods of Ypres. Some notable ones on there. Earthen, the one I just mentioned. November's Doom has a track on there. And both Joel Violette and Ray, obviously from Woods of Ypres and their own various projects, they do a version of the track Silver, and it is just beautiful. Moving on, there's a band that I don't know how to say it. They're a French Viking black metal band. It's called Himmelbjorg, and their album Weird with a Y, W-Y-R-D. There's anything that really stood out about this. It's just kind of cool black metal. Next up is the band Hyperion and their album Serifical Euphony.
I'm glad you mentioned this. This is an early contender for album of the year right now. It's amazing. It is amazing.
Yeah. You thinking question mark, Jay?
Well, hit me with it again, because I mean, I loved all those words. I was just like, it was like listening to a different language.
Okay.
Say the name of the band again, George.
Hyperion, and the album is Seraphical Euphony.
Is it on
It's on Bandcamp.
on Spotify? It is.
Okay. These guys are melodic Black Death from Sweden.
amazing.
Some really cool
Absolutely
guitar
amazing.
work. Yeah, I'm glad you like that. It's really good.
Oh,
Next up, a UK black metal band by the name of The Infernal Sea, and their new album, The Great Mortality. This was just, again, it was just some black metal that hooked me. I really like the album artwork. It's sort of a themed album. I don't know if it's a concept album, but it's a themed album around the period when the Black Death hit Europe. Next up is The Moth Gatherer and their album The Earth is the Sky. It's a Swedish post-metal sludge band. Really great production, good stuff. Next up is an Italian doom metal band called Modus Tenebrae and their album Death Rising. This is another doom metal album, maybe because it's Italian. I read Italians do doom metal really well, I think. It's just got a kind of a different sound to it, and that always, makes me bite when I hear something a little different. Next up is a band called Oaken and their album King Beast. This is an experimental hardcore band from Budapest, Hungary. It's loud, it's heavy, it's noisy, it's interesting. This next one is one that Buke told me about on the last episode, and I think maybe he heard from John. This is Perihelion Ship and A Rare Thunderstorm in Spring.
Yes.
It's a Finnish extreme progressive metal album, and I frankly...
What do you think?
It fucking blew me away.
Isn't it amazing?
I love this album.
It's amazing.
They've got some curious album artwork, but wow. I never would have guessed the music based on the album cover.
It's amazing.
Yeah, really good stuff. Next up, coming to us from Brazil, is Son of a Witch and their album Thrones in the Sky. This is total Sabbath worship from South America. It's cool. I got this. I also got their self-titled EP as well. Next one is an interesting one. This is Temple of Gnosis. That's Gnosis. And their album De Secretis Naturae Alchemica. It's a Serbian death doom band. There's a lot of really cool atmospheric instrumental work. Seriously deep vocals that I'm thinking they really have to be affected because they're just so deep and like clean. This was part of my last snow shoveling listening experience, and it's not a real busy album. There's a lot of just atmospheric stuff between all the heavy parts, but it's a very interesting listen. Next one's for Buke. This is a German power metal band called Thornbridge and their album What Will Prevail. You heard these guys?
I have not.
It's pretty cool. To me, there's a little bit of like maybe some Rhapsody in there.
I'm hearing German power metal, maybe Avantasia a little bit.
Maybe.
Head guy.
I find that when it's power metal and I like it, it tends to be German. I don't know, but give it a listen, see what you think. This next one, every once in a while I pick something up that I kind of question myself because it maybe seems a little commercial. Not in the commercial sense of millions of people will like it, but just it's more produced. It's a little more like Slipknot-y. This one, to me, sounds like a combination of Avatar and Faith No More. This is the band Tooth Grinder and their album Nocturnal Masquerade. And I don't know what else to say about that. It's probably very common sounding, but it engaged me. The production's really good. And it's interesting. So I don't know. You just have to listen to it, I guess. Next one is another one via Buke. He's gonna.
Oh man, I'm fucking loving. This is rare.
You're gonna love this too because this is Trench Rot and Necronomic Warfare.
Hey.
Yes.
And I listened to this, and yes, you're right. This is pretty damn good. It's older than I thought. I didn't realize it was like 2014 or 2013 or something like that. It's a little older, but it's definitely cool.
And again, from the Crypt Sermon guys.
Yeah, that's wild. Okay, next up, This is another side project band. This is a combining of two of the guys from Brutal Truth and two of the guys from Napalm Death. This is Venomous Concept and their third album, Kick Me Silly, VC3. That'd be Kevin Sharp and Dan Lilker from Brutal Truth and Shane and Danny from Napalm Death.
Dan Loker also from Nuclear Assault and
Anthrax at one point.
yeah, for like a minute.
Yeah. This is like grindcore, but it's like good grindcore. If you know what I mean by that. It's good grindcore. It's pretty cool. Next up, another band from the Netherlands. This is a black thrash crust band called Villainy, and their second album, Villainy 2, Dim. They really caught my ear when I listened to some samples on Bandcamp, and the production was really good. I was like, wow, I just expected, when I'm just like going through listening to things, and playing a few seconds from every band, you hear a lot of bad production. And when you hear something that maybe you didn't expect to stand out, all of a sudden you're like, whoa, it sounds really good. Caught my ear. I went back and listened to more, and it's pretty cool. You can get it on Bandcamp. Look for it there. Another one that surprised me. I've been seeing this album around, and I've completely ignored it based on the album cover because it looks like really bad, cheesy power metal. It's got like squiggly fonts and like some sort of like painted artwork that just looks bad. But somehow, maybe in a magazine, I read that they were actually a Death Doom band. I was like, And so I listened to them, and I was pleasantly surprised to find out that the band, When Nothing Remains, and their new album, In Memoriam, is actually quite good. Don't judge this album by the cover. And then there's the two that I picked up today. I picked up the Pile of Priests' Unholy Death EP, and another Death Doom band called Pendulous, and their album, A Palpable Sense of Love and Loss. I only listened to the barest bit of that one. It was one of the ones I was just like, it sounds cool, I'll buy it, and I bought it right before we started recording. I want to note that I've also spent a lot of time listening to a lot of punk music this past couple of weeks. I've been trying to sort of cleanse my palate because I've been listening to so much extreme metal that I'm kind of getting burned out, as you can tell by my long list. Not that burned out, I guess. But I've just been trying to listen to a lot of other things to help me, just cleanse the palate a little bit so that I can listen to more stuff. And at first I was listening to a bunch of Rat and Dokken and stuff like that. But then I moved on to some punk music, and I've been listening to a lot of Ramones, Bad Religion, Germs, Dead Kennedys, Black Flag. And then after talking to Jay about Hyrax, I started listening to DRI because they're playing together.
Yeah.
And moving into the crossover stuff. In fact, I was listening to DRI's Crossover and Four of a Kind, one of my favorites from them.
Those are both good records.
And then I also, from there, I had to move on to Corrosion of Conformity's Animosity album because that's also a great crossover album. And there we are.
Exhale. You should have a contest with yourself to see if you can read your whole list without blinking.
I don't think I could do that. I mean, what
You
was
could
that,
do it.
like 15 minutes?
Oh, come on, George.
I'd go blind.
You know what? Yeah, well, you're not going to do it with that attitude. That's true.
Oh, fine. I'll see what I can do next time. All right, well, let's move on to our classic albums.
I went a little classic rocky this time. I think this is more of a hard rock band, but this was a record that I loved as a kid. Triumph Allied Forces.
Oh, yeah.
A great record from start to finish.
Yeah, it's like the Rush clone band.
Basically, there's some hard rock songs on there. There's kind of a poppy hit. I wouldn't call it a poppy hit, but call it an FM radio hit. And the song called Magic Power, which is all about the love of music.
Yeah.
The song Allied Forces is this fucking killer fucking tune. It's a great record, and Rick Emmett's a really good guitar player. Definitely, if you want to stick your hand in some sort of maybe, mid-80s FM radio hard rock, Triumph Allied Forces is a great place to go.
Yeah, that's a great album.
What's your classic, Duke?
Sticking with my current flavor, like it's been for the past couple weeks now, which is thrash. This is the album from 1990. I think it's their third album, Forbidden, Twisted into Form.
Oh, I love that album. I saw them on that tour. They opened for Death Angel on the Act 3 tour. Saw them in Detroit. It was a great show.
I think I saw those guys when I went to see King Diamond. They were just there. I mean, they live here.
Yeah, they're Bay Area.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I saw them all. I mean, they were all wearing Forbidden t-shirts. It was them.
Just pretty cool, American thrash,
Yeah, Good stuff. Like, Chalice of Blood, isn't that on there?
No.
Oh wait, which one? Wait, Twisted into Form? I think that's it.
Chalice of Blood's off of Forbidden Evil.
Ah, right. Okay, so it was the previous one that I saw them on. Sorry, that's right. That's the second album. My bad.
Yours, George?
Mine is one that I actually mentioned, I think, on the last episode, but I've been listening to it a lot more. It should have been in my forthcoming what I purchased, but it's not on vinyl. So, but I wanted to get the high quality version, so I went and bought the CD last week. And this is Ludacris and Immaculate Deception.
Cool.
This album came out in 1986. They're a New York band. They were on Combat Core. They're one of those crossover hardcore bands from the New York hardcore scene. And the singer at least, I'm not sure about the rest of them, went on to do Scatterbrain, which is, I think, what I mentioned as a classic a couple weeks ago. And it's really good. If you like the fast, punky, thrashy music from the mid 80s, you can't go wrong with this one. Classic tracks like Fire at the Firehouse, Most People Are Dicks, Blown Into the Arms of Christ is a good one, Green Eggs and Ham. They cover Last Train to Clarksville. It's not anything like the original. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Sweet. Band. I meant to mention this to you, George, recently because we had a very brief conversation about punk. And a band that I remember that I really liked back in the 80s was The Accused. Did you ever listen to them?
Yeah, the Martha Splatterhead stuff.
Yeah, it was good. It was good stuff. Mm-hmm. And there's some sense of humor in there too. So it's good stuff for punky punks.
Yeah, somebody else brought that up. At least I think it was somebody else. I was wondering if it was Trevor might have brought them up.
It seems like that would be up his alley, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, Trevor.
Hey, Trevor. All right, vinyl purchases.
Nice short list for me this week, but both very satisfying gets. I got two albums this week since the last pod, and that's it. I got the Rotting Christ record, and it's like this limited edition, and it plays in 45 speed for whatever reason. I don't know. It's 2 discs. It's a normal 12-inch record. Nice package, though, that came with that. I was really excited to find it in the store because it was right when I was like, this record fucking kills.
Sorry to interrupt. I've got a couple like that. Like the And Justice for All is at 45 speed.
It is.
And the Avatarium, Girl in the Raven Mask.
It's 45.
Yeah, I neglected to notice that, and I put it on at 30. And I was like, damn, this is heavier than I remember.
Yeah, that Wild Throne EP is in 45 too. Yeah. And I put it up once and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, and then she started singing and I was like, what? She sounds like a dude. I was like, okay, there's got to be something wrong with the speed here.
Do we have any concept? Is there some sort of audio quality that improves or something? We don't know.
That's what the Metallica album says. It says mastered at 45 speed for better quality.
Okay. Well, I'll let you know about that. I haven't even put that album on yet because I've been listening to the digital copy. Secondly, I found a copy of Pig Destroyer's Terrifier, which really sent my heart through the roof. I was like, what the fuck? Because on Discogs, this thing is always expensive. And lo and behold, I came to find out it was a reissue through Relapse, which is fine, and I couldn't care less. I don't need the original issue. But it's nice to know that they just reissued some of the back catalog Pig Destroyer stuff because they're real expensive on Discogs. I couldn't be happier to have a copy of Terrifier now on vinyl.
Nice.
And that's it.
All right. Buke, what do you got?
First, I'm going to start by saying those of you with iPhones, I don't know if it's available on Android devices. If you've used the app Milk Crate, that's what I personally use. I've been beta testing the official Discogs app. It's just like Milk Crate. It's almost like their copycats are developed by the same studio. But to sum up a long story, the official Discogs app will be available on the 29th. So by the time you hear this, you should be able to go download it.
I can't believe that there wasn't one until now.
I know.
Crazy.
It's crazy. But two purchases, I got the Opeth Deliverance Damnation and Aborted Termination Redux.
Excellent.
Cool.
I didn't think I was going to have much, and then a few things showed up that, you order stuff and you forget about them, and then they show up, and it's a happy surprise.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the first one wasn't a surprise, and that was the new Anthrax, For All Kings. That showed up on Friday, so yesterday. And I got to say, I was really impressed with the packaging. It comes in a plastic slipcase that it's like all dark except for one spot in the center, sort of like a spotlight. And so you can see the cover through it. And I was like, wow, this is not the album cover I was expecting. And then I was like, oh, it's a slipcase. And you pull it off and it has the full album cover. But when you put this on, it has the band logo and the album title, whereas the album itself does not.
Oh, nice touch.
And yeah, it's pretty slick looking. And then it's like a gatefold, and it's like a bluish, whitish vinyl. So it's pretty.
Is it 2 discs?
Yes, so it's pretty sweet. Then I got 3 Deathspell Omega albums, the last 3. So if you know what those are, you can figure that out, because my butchering them is probably not going to help you any. Paracletus was the last one, the most recent one. Before that is Fas Ite Maledicti in Ignum Aeternum. And then the one before that is Si Monumentum Requieres Circumspice. That's probably not how that's pronounced. But yeah, some crazy black metal craziness there. I also got Outre's Ghost Chance album, which is a really good, underrated album from last year that you should check out if you have not heard it. Really good black metal. And then I also got Stellar Master Elite 3.
Yay!
Eternalism, the Psychospherical chapter.
Did it come with any...
No.
I don't want to say promotional material.
Propaganda.
Indoctrination type thing, yeah?
No.
Nothing like that? Okay. All right,
No.
good. You're still safe with them.
Yep. And then 2 more that showed up this morning for surprising. I got Iced Earth's Horror Show.
Nice.
And Iced Earth's Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Just saw that in the store the other day, and that's a nice little looking gatefold package. I'm assuming it looks pretty nice inside.
I haven't opened it yet.
Yeah, okay.
Just got it.
You know, you guys knew about that. I remember because Duke ordered, what's the Spawn one?
Dark Saga.
Saga?
Yeah. I remember you ordered that straight off the bat. Was there just like a mass release of Iced Earth vinyl again or something?
They did like a few reissues, last year, and then I'm not sure when this came out. I just stumbled across it. There's also the first album they did, but
Yeah.
I didn't like that, so I didn't bother getting that one.
Well, because I saw Something This Wicked in the store. Something Wicked This Way Comes, which means to me that is one of the ones that just came out. And I also saw a big stack of like the Dark Saga and a couple other ones. So yeah, no, that's cool, dude. They I only have 2 Iced Earth on vinyl. And that's the 2 concept records.
Yeah, we were lucky enough. Buke and I were lucky enough when we saw Ashes of Aries last time that we got Matt Barlow to sign ours. I got him to sign Dark Saga and Burnt Offerings and Ashes of Aries.
Nice, dude.
All right, let's do our deep tracks.
Deep tracks. God, I feel like I did this one once. And if I did, that's life.
I feel like that about mine too.
Do you? Okay. This one is off of the Saxon record, The Power and the Glory. And there's a song on there that I think was actually a single. So that doesn't make it seem like a deep track, but I don't think anybody liked it. I think I'm under the impression I'm the only guy in the world likes this song, but it's called Nightmare. It's like the 2nd song in the record or the 3rd song. And it's just this really good, weird... It's almost got like a vibe of like You Can't Stop Rock and Roll about it. Like the Ozzy song. It's like a sad, somehow weird, tear-jerking heavy metal song, but at the same time being a real heavy record or song. Don't know how to explain it except it's just a song I've always loved.
Right on. Buke?
You guys mentioned this album earlier, funny, but off of Marching Out by Ingve.
Disciples of Hell.
Nope.
Ah, shoot.
On the Run Again.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Dude, that thing shows off Jeff Scott's vocals.
Yeah.
Big time.
I wish he had kind of gotten into some other stuff after the fact. I know he did some other things, but he was a good singer. And that's a great record.
Dude, that album, oh man, it's amazing.
I have to tell you, I was watching a rerun of That Metal Show last night, just out of sheer boredom. And Ingve was the musician that sits up in the stands, George, and plays,
Yeah.
And he's always, I mean, you could say what you want about the guy. He's kind of a jerk off and any number of things or whatever. But there was this one passage in particular when they went to a commercial that I rewound and watched 4 fucking times because it was like, he just like put in like 6 tricks that are difficult to do on the guitar, and it would be quick time changes the way he did. It was, he's an amazing guitar player.
He's crazy. He's nuts.
Yeah, there's something wrong with it. I think he's a fucking, prodigy, like this whole other level of thing. And it's not always even interesting to listen to, but you cannot deny how well that man plays.
That's why he's got a driveway full of Ferraris.
That's exactly right. What's your deep track, Georgie?
Mine, I tend to stream of consciousness with these things. All that punk music I was listening to last week, one of them I was listening to was the Dead Kennedys, and the singer for the Dead Kennedys is Jello Biafra. And Jello Biafra contributed to this song which is Biotech is Godzilla from Sepultura's Chaos AD album. I just fucking love this song. So there you go. That's it's deep and it's a classic.
It is, yeah. Is it because Biotech is that like a really bad thing in Brazil or something? And I know was that a real company?
I don't know. I mean, I think theoretically he's just talking about. I know there's a line like strip mining the Amazon and stuff like that.
It's
just
like
you know,
corporate irresponsibility.
Corporate irresponsibility, I believe, is the theme of the song. Yeah.
Yeah. I always kind of wondered ever since that song came out, but I actually had learned that he was involved in that song when I saw Max Cavalera interviewed on that metal show, strangely. I didn't realize he'd been involved in it. But that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. I see him around here every once in a while. He lives here too, and every once in a while he'll show up at a show or something.
Nice.
Yeah, he's kind of a pudgy old looking guy now.
Yeah, he's still awesome though.
I mean, he was a pudgy old looking guy when he was young.
Yeah, we saw him at Barbecue, not last year, but the year before, when he was doing the eulogy for Dave Brocky.
Yeah.
All right, well, this brings us to the end of the episode. We're going to give you another song from Pile of Priests here in a moment. But before we get into that, make sure to check us out on our new SoundCloud page. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on Twitter. I am Disciple of Metal.
I'm at OPEF fan.
At Catatonic J.
We're on Instagram, we're on Stitcher, and of course you can always find us at wearemetalheads.com. All right, let's get into our last little bit with Pile of Priests, then we'll play you a song, and we will see you next time.
Evan, I have to ask, did you just shave your beard?
Within the last 2 weeks, yeah.
Because I'm looking through all your pictures and press photos and stuff like that. I'm like, who's this castaway here? Man, that's pretty epic.
Yeah, dude. I've actually rose to a higher position at my job that's closer to the corporate side of things, but I still can keep my long hair. I'm never getting rid of that.
I just want to
Just gotta
say,
ponytail it.
you are my favorite member of the band because you're wearing, I see in one of your shirts, a Rhapsody Power of the Dragon Flame shirt.
Yeah.
I fucking love that album.
See, and I went through a pretty big power metal phase, and so Gamma Ray's cool, Halloween's cool, and a lot of those bands with the happy-go-lucky riffs. But Rhapsody is the one that I think transcends all those bands.
And you're wearing an Opeth shirt and another one. I'll give you my phone number. We can talk.
Yeah, let's hang out. Let's hang out, bro.
So we're getting ready to play another song from Pile of Priests, Void to Enlightenment. I was hoping you could tell me about this one as well.
Yes, sir.
This is the song Templars of Sodomy. And before you get into it, I have to append this with the question, what exactly does a Templar of Sodomy do? Does this involve Turkish bathhouses?
It could. A long, long time ago. It's just about the Templars and how corrupt they were. They were sent on the mission from the church, but they would do anything and everything else in between to go behind their backs. They're also brilliant bastards, setting up the first kind of parcel system as well. But a lot of times they would go through and rape and pillage and take money, and they were even said to be doing head worship, so some kind of demonic type shit where they were not Christians. They did a lot, and I think they're great guys. So that kind of plays into that. The name was just, brutal, and I thought that was cool because it would offend somebody.
Doing it in the butt's brutal.
Yeah, what's brutal and offensive? Sure, that's kind of what we were going for, and that's the only song on the album that I use the 7-string guitar with as well.
All right.
Wow. Okay.
Here it is, Templars of Sodomy.